Oh yeah.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It is Saturday night. I'm Michael from Destro Designs. We are live in Viper Den Studios. Here with me tonight is a man who needs no introduction. It is Mark from Destro is my spirit animal. Mark, thank you for taking a minute and coming in tonight.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Now, I don't see anybody in the chat yet, which is incredibly weird. Usually there's a handful of people that are jumping in to try to say that they were here first.
Oh yeah.
I think Paul Morales was like first. Well, speaking of the first challenge, Matt, there he is. We were just talking about you, brother. Our brother here is is a fan of this, and as is everybody, as far as I can tell. I had so much fun shooting it too, right? I mean, it was when I first took it out of the box and I first turned it on, I didn't do it right away. I walked into a room and I turned the light off so I could see it in the dark and really try to appreciate the color of it at first. So yeah, it's an incredible piece, and we will definitely talk more about that later. Speak of the devil, Paul Morales in the house. Paul, what's going on from the at the toy chamber? Happy Plague Doctor. Good to see you made it over. Sandhills Cobra Law standing by. That's what's up. My ears were burning. I'm glad you like it. Nice, for sure. Romel Williams in the house. How's it going, my brother? Romel, how do you find us? Whenever I see somebody whose name I don't recognize in the chat, I always like to shout out how they found us so I know, where things are being picked up on. Roadblock, what's up, my dude? Glad you can make it. Big Red in the house. And Snow Leopard, did I say Snow Leopard? So Mark, our brother Snow Leopard here, is on the other side of the world, and he gets up in the middle of the night all right, I guess I don't want to be presumptuous there. I'm assuming you go to sleep and then get up. So it's like I think it's 2 or 2:30 in the morning, right? I mean, I guess you could be staying up. I wouldn't really know. But yeah, thank you as always, Snow Leopard. Appreciate it. Support here and in the timeline. Very supportive guy, pillar of the community. Very good. So, first off, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that shared kind words or shared the articles themselves. But I've dropped 3 articles for Serpentor's Lair so far, and the response has been fantastic. So I appreciate everybody sharing their love for it, because some people had some really nice things to say. If I haven't said this in one place or the other yet, I thought I was going to be the next Hunter S. Thompson when I was like 19, 20 years old. I was like, this is it. That movie Fear and Loathing came out. I watched it, and I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I've always been a very yeah. Well, listen, I had that part down. No problem. It was a 1-for-1 comparison in that regard. But this dude obviously was a prolific writer, but also I think to be a writer like that, that's your life. You know what I mean? That's who you are to your core, where you're writing all the time. Now, when I was, 21 going on 22, if I had decided that was the route I wanted to take and I dedicated myself to it, who knows what would have happened. But it was right at that time when I had to make that crucial life choice, is when I was originally going to school to be an engineer. I took a hands-on class, like a trade school class that was going to give me credit towards what I was doing. And when I was in there, I built a bunch of stuff. And not only did I really like it, the teacher was like, yo, you've never done any of this before? And I was like, never. I helped my grandfather build a deck one year. But other than that, I've never swung a hammer. I never did anything. And he's like, well, you have a natural inclination to the stuff. I built a whole half a house, right? They had a training facility where it was a wall, and then we built off the wall. And I started doing it with 2 other guys, and he basically took the 2 other guys away, and he let me do it by myself. And he was like, yeah. Oh, and then I built a bookcase from raw wood. I had to plane it, join it. And it wound up winning the best. I was in the building trades. It was the best in building trades. And then they put me at the whole school was a whole school contest where I was against the culinary department, the cosmetology department, like the beauticians, and the welding department. So we all submitted something that everybody had to judge on, and I won that too. So I was kind of yeah. And then crazy enough, the teacher got me a job going right from school to teaching it. I know that sounds nuts. So it was it's called Youth Build. It was a program for at-risk kids. Basically, these were 18, 19, 20-year-old kids who maybe have already been in trouble with the law, have kids themselves, and then have no help. You know how hard it is to raise kids when you have a big family and everybody's, when you have nothing, bro, it's tough. So 15 of them were in a construction class, and the other 15 were in a classroom setting where they got a GED, and then the next week they would switch. And this went on for, I don't remember, maybe 4 or 5 months. And yeah, dude, the most rewarding thing I had ever done. But that was where, I made that choice where it was either, do I want to be Hunter S. Thompson or do I want to do shit like this? And as soon as I started doing like stuff on my own, my business started right around then. And once I got those first couple of jobs out of the way and I was making that kind of money, I was like, oh, writing doesn't pay literally anything. I've never gotten a dime from all of that writing. And I've just now, in like a year's time, made all of this money. And I was like, all right, well, I have to make a career choice. And I think this is it. So I would always kind of write on and off and stuff like that. But when my kids were born, it all took a big back seat where I don't have time to sit down and just, wax poetic. But my kids are at an age now where they're not 5 years old. They're a little more self-sufficient. They're 11. And, I told them that your daughter came on the show last week, and they're like, oh, well, we have to come on the show then. You guys are letting kids on? And I was like, well, I guess. So I made the mistake of telling them. So at some point they're going to probably poke their head in, I think. I'm not sure.
Do the same, in fact.
Nice. Cool. But yeah, so just to put a bow on that, I am now wrapping back around. I read a bunch of articles that was Serpentor's Lair was putting out, because there's a handful of other really talented writers who are constantly, well, I think there's other dudes who write about other shit, but there's the guys that I know are mostly about G.I. Joe. They go deep dives on like an old school, they have like forgotten figures. So they take like a figure you've never thought of in a while, and they do like this whole thing. And it's always good. So yeah, I think the one that I read that really broke me, it was from Yorktown Joe. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to reach out and see if, like, how does one get an article down here? Can I send you something? And he was like, we have maybe, like a full-time thing if you want to do it, have as much as you can. And I said, I could probably do 2 a week. And here we are. So Tuesdays and Fridays, they will drop. And basically all it is like, I dropped the one on Thursday. In my mind, I'll think about it, and then Monday night, I'll just sit down and it just comes out. Obviously I go back and check and sometimes restructure, but it's like that's how writing always was. And I think this is a super creative outlet that helps me in a bunch of different ways. But one of them is I feel like I'm getting back into something that I don't know, I think I would have been really, really good at. So if this just, twice a week, I don't even know how many words there are or how long they are. I just kind of go with the idea and I try to keep it, short as possible, because I'm a little long-winded for sure. Let's see. Romel says, I started watching Destro's My Spirit Animal probably a year ago or two, and I saw you on this channel a couple weeks ago, and I've been looking at your stuff ever since. Oh, well, welcome in. Thank you for the support. If you're following on the social, because sometimes what happens is people, their YouTube name is different than their Twitter name. So like it could be the same person. I think somebody changed their handle one time because I didn't know. I couldn't remember who the hell it was. All right, nice, very good. So yeah, thank you for everybody their support and Serpentor's Lair. Shout out to them guys over there. Give me a shot to do it, and I look forward to just kind of letting it fly when just thinking about G.I. Joe. Like my latest article was about. And this was about, I referenced a line from a Mobb Deep song, ain't no such things as halfway crooks. And that's how I generally feel about people that you don't just like kind of like G.I. Joe. You're either not really interested at all, or you are basically obsessed, right? It's not, I don't know anybody that's just in the middle or just like okay with it. And I had this discussion with a buddy of mine, Pete, who's like, no, dude, I love G.I. Joe. I love it. And I was like, have you bought a classified figure yet? And he goes, well, no, I was like, all right, stop. Stop. When's the last time you watched a Sunbow cartoon or anything like that? And he was like, no. I was like, you like the idea of loving it, but.
So the love maybe stays, though, with you, like from, you know what I mean? It's just like in the back, And
I was there for a long time.
I didn't buy, well, there was no classified, so.
Right.
Yeah, I stopped buying shit for a while.
100%. I try to remember. I'm pretty sure the last figure I bought, like with my own, newspaper money or whatever, was the Rock Viper. And then of course I got figures from birthdays or Christmas. And when the neon stuff started coming in, listen, I look back at a lot of those figures from the neon 90s and I appreciate them way more now, right? But when I was a kid, with so much other stuff vying for my attention, yellow and blue Major Blood didn't stand a chance. I was like, that's it. That's enough. This is where I'm drawing the fucking line. So yeah, but before we get deep dive into all that stuff, I just wanted to show off a few things because I definitely picked up a couple some cool shit. So I have a couple Valaverse figures, but I love to support those that are out there doing it. I know you do a little shilling yourself for Valaverse. You work over there, so I always try. So I picked these up. I got two of them.
Yeah.
Yo, these things are crazy cool. Like I didn't even know they existed because, of course, if I go look for it, sometimes it's not there. But these are $20 right now on Big Bad Toy Store. So I was like, oh, I have to grab two. And then as a matter of fact, they showed up late last night and I was looking at them more again today. And I almost went to buy two more, but I was like, all right, hold on. I got two. I should be happy with that for sure. Something else I got. Where'd it go? Trying to think. Oh, you know what? I think I showed this off last week. Didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, I got a Monster Force figure. Yeah. And it's incredible. I remember. I think I talked about it at length because I couldn't believe it was after opening it. I was like, I can't believe it's only $40. You know what I mean? It seemed crazy. Figure Fight Club in the house. What's up, my brother? That's my dude, Abby. You've heard me mention them a couple times, Mark. Some really awesome guys. Really embrace that, positive community spirit. Good shit over there for sure. They got
I didn't even realize they released the Malice figure. I actually seen him in the headquarters.
Oh, nice.
Have you seen him?
I'm glad you said it. I have it written down over here to mention to you because I saw the pictures today. I mean, it was like a couple hours ago, I think, the first ones I saw. Dude, how crazy is that figure? I didn't see. What do you know the price point on that? I can't remember if it was there in the whatchamacallit.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess 40.
Oh man,
43, that's what his deluxe figures I think run. Don't quote me on that though.
For sure. Nope. But I mean, it's even still, if it's under 50, it looks like a deal because the package looks huge. Yeah. It looked like there was a ton of stuff in it. Well, it was interesting. I remember when you were on with what is that? The show that he does with Laser Pants, the 3POA. Yeah. 3POA, which was a great episode, by the way. And I've spoke to Laser Pants a couple times. He's kind of an awesome dude for sure. Hoping to get him over on this show as well. But I remember when he was talking about, like why doesn't Hasbro put the hands in, right? Because here's the hands, and he's always got the hands. And he was like, it's basically pennies. They could put those hands in there for basically pennies. It's just squeezing that hard, which, I've been very happy with what Hasbro has been putting out, but you can't ignore something like that where you're like, give us, because, I don't know. I've actually had this one guy, let's see, I think might have just showed up. Anyway, yes.
No, they're just not realizing that they should be putting in. It's like you've got guys holding knives with the trigger finger. It doesn't make any sense. It's like
ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
It's ridiculous.
You're holding an axe with a trigger finger. It's like it just doesn't. That doesn't make sense to me. So it's like throw in a C-grip hand. I'm gonna beat that drum until he does. That is my number one.
For sure.
That's how it goes. C-grip hand. It's the best hand. It's what you had as a kid. You had a hand. It was universal. You could throw a punch. You could hold something.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then you give me trigger fingers for everybody. It's like all the time.
And not only does it look ridiculous when they're holding a knife and their fingers out like this, it doesn't sit right in the hand. It like flops, or it just or it doesn't hold at all. Which, do you know how often I'm in a situation where I've been trying to get once I can get it with where you got the knife and then you got the silenced pistol that very you've seen it a lot of times. I have a hard time getting figures to get. Sometimes this hand is back here like this, and the barrel it's like on your hand. But anyways, when you have holding a knife like that, it's like it's so loose and it never sticks straight out like you would want it right here in that position. So coming from
the hand until it wraps around it.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
And coming from a person that takes pictures, it is legit like a real thing where there's been times. Now I know my brother here, just another jerk, pose master, does. He's one of those people that's so good at posing figures that he doesn't even need to have a diorama. There's just all have like 2 or 3 figures, or sometimes like 6, 7 figures, and they're having like a big brawl, and they're all just posed so damn well that it doesn't matter that it's on like his dresser and there's drywall right back there. It looks that well. But he said something, I think, and hopefully it was you. I think he had said, somebody that takes all those pictures, that he doesn't have as much use for the hands as you would think. And I don't know. Yeah. I think the one specific that you're talking about, though, with something to be just give us the one where like hands that will hold whatever you're putting in the package with him, right? Like, how in the world do you give people stuff that doesn't fit them? Especially if you can't. You can chicken wing the arm fine, but if you can't get this, the butt all the way in here, and he can't somewhat look down make it look right, I just think that's crazy pants. It's like, why are you giving us a thing that doesn't work? That's basically what it is. Yeah. If you can't get it to like sit right, Now,
what he's saying, you have no use for the extra hands. I don't have use for the fists, the signal hand, the karate chop. Because I don't take pictures. I just fight with them. You're in the middle of a fight, you're battling, you're not going to be pulling hands out. You know what I mean? You want to have like the one universal hand, and the one universal action figure hand is a punch, is a C grip, because you can put a gun. You can put a gun in it. Yeah, it doesn't have. You can put a knife in it. You can put a sledgehammer in it, and it looks right. And you can throw a punch with it. It's like, they give you the fist hand, but it's like, I don't know.
Yes.
I get why they do it, because if you are a photographer and you like I think, the one guy who I loved, well, because there's a couple actually. Rock and Roll had the metal hand. That was my favorite thing ever. And then you had when Mutt came with the like signal hands. I thought that was cool. I'm never gonna use them. Those are just. You know what I mean? Right. Never going to use them, but they're great.
No, the horns is great. That is a good one for sure. And I think you really nailed it though with like the C grip. That's just give us the one that we're going to use all the time. Snow Leopard says, speaking of taking pictures, I should be able to post some more pics for my Dio story tomorrow. Awesome, brother. We're all waiting for sure. Just another jerk to that end. I want opposite hinged wrists. No, both are the same. I think I know what you're saying, and that would be nice. Play Doctor says, all I have is an unopened Cold Slither box set and a Pimp Daddy Destro. Hey, for you really got 2 of the cooler things, I mean, the Cold Slither set, I did not get because it just like it's just so big. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking up that much, so a lot of space for 4 figures with that big display, and you have to have them on the display, I think. Yeah. It's almost like a HasLab box. And, now that I've got it kind of set up how it is, maybe I'm not as concerned as I was with it sticking out or not fitting with the displays. I will have room over here for that, and I'll just put it with my HasLab boxes. I won't mind getting it. Hopefully I can. I don't know if it'll ever be super cheap, but then again, things like this happen. Like, I know I was mentioning it to you last week. I think that with the announcement of the Dire Night Creeper, I was like, ooh, they are giving him a nice little army. They're giving Crystal Ball like an army. Yeah. And I was like, man, I only have 2 of the Ghost Vipers. I had a bunch, but I sold a lot of them thinking, well, I'll just get more somewhere down the line. Well, guess what? It's $100 on eBay, whether it's 80 with 20 shipping or it's 100 with shipping. So my brother Pop Cult Frenzy, which I'm going to shout him out in a second, Pop Cult Frenzy had a eBay link, and he said, guy has Dire Vipers. So I scored 2, bro, at $54 a piece, shipped. Crazy pants, like just Looney Tunes. Now I don't know how many he had, but when I got there, I was like I would have bought a bunch so even if I didn't want to keep them all, I would give them to people that, want them and don't want to pay $100. So, but nope, I was only able to buy 2. I did circle back and see if it was like only letting me buy 2 at a time, and it said this item's not available. So I'm assuming that, whether he had more before I got there, I'm not sure. But anyway, Pop, thank you so much. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. But so also, speaking of another good deal, and I saw this from Pop Cult Frenzy. Actually, my brother Conrad at first sent me the thing because we were trading and we were trying to find. He sent me a Snake Eyes with a polar bear, so I have a inbox set of that now, and we just were trying to. He was like, just give me whatever you want. Like he had a list. He's like, give me any of this shit out there. So on his list was the Sarge Mercer. I picked. This was on sale for $38 from Amazon. So. I don't know how you feel about this set, but I kind of was just like, it looks cool. I'm glad that they made it, but I wasn't going to buy it.
Pretty good.
Now that, the weapons look crazy. I haven't taken it out of the box yet because I was thinking I'd maybe hold on to it, and if I could use it in a trade, so I'm going to wait. But dude, like all this, open it. You know what? And he does look. I don't know how I feel about that face, but the other face.
Heads, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, the other one that it comes with is good. That was good. I almost feel like, and I know it's not cartoon accurate, but you know how like on a bunch of figures they put like a neck scarf, like not a big one, but like like Roblox came with a bigger one, but Stalker came with a big one, but then there's like the smaller one on like right here. Where is it? The 3-pack Viper has it. Where the hell that thing go? I just had one over here.
That's that Sarge figure.
And you know what? And he comes with 2 heads. Now I don't know if the big the military brim hat, I don't know, is that stuck to that head or does that come off as well? Because he's got 2 heads, and this one is on it. Well,
that'll come off, I think.
All right, nice.
Off. And he's got the whistle, because I threw it on the whistle head. But to me, that made him stand out. He's got a nice setup. He's got a real good revolver, a nice real serious knife.
He's got it. Comes with a Vector. I think he's. I mean, is there another figure that has this one right here? That's a Chris Vector.
Oh yeah. It looks like a grenade launcher with a belt system. That's awesome. I don't know if that's a real weapon. Probably not.
Okay, well then I guess this thing's just gonna have to get open then because that's way too many things going for it.
That weapon is crazy.
Nice.
It's like a grenade launcher on a belt system.
Huh. All right. Well then that's 100% getting open. All right. One more figure. I bought Airborne. I had one before, and I gave it away to somebody who was a airborne military. Bad motherfucker. But our dude, they gone. Let's see. Oh, okay. So everybody saw from Mo's Mind the Oracle, and dude, the acronym for that is crazy awesome. I'm trying to look. I wrote it down. I wrote it down somewhere. Where'd it go? The Operational Reconnaissance and Analysis Command Link Engine. Dude, that works. It works. So just real quick, so you can plug it into the micro USB. You can power it that way. I have 3 AA's into the bottom, and I've had it on a lot, and the batteries are still good. You turn it on by this side right here. If you look, that looks great, but this actually pops off, and there it is. Yeah. When you turn it on, it goes right back to the last setting that you had it, which is I found convenient when I was doing that shoot. But it's got all the different colors, and then the one shot in the little commercial thing that I did has I didn't do that with the editing. It actually has a setting where it'll run through all the colors. I don't remember which. Oh, there it is. So that did it on its own. Awesome. And honestly, I was telling Mark before we came on that the craziest thing is that as good as it looks in these pictures, y'all, it's not doing him justice in the sense that the etching that he's done on here looks so much more crisp because there was like a glow coming off of the light, right? I'm doing it on a smartphone, and I think for the first time I realized, oh, okay, here's the kind of shit that you get a camera for, right? this is one of the reasons when you want to take super good photography, you got to get a good camera. So that will be on the list coming up sooner than later. Make sure you're going over and you're checking out my brother's Etsy store and use that Destro Designs 10 to get you 10% off. That's the Oracle, y'all. And let's see. So I'm gonna run through this quick. I got a big haul from Sys 3D Arsenal. I'm gonna start off with something really cool. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, totally awesome. As part of like a safety set, I got a couple of these. It's a straight up clipboard, which okay. So you get everything that scales nice. Looks good. Love it. Now, I accidentally only ordered this part. This is the top to a mechanic's chest. You know how like it's all a whole bunch of drawers. This is what the top layer would look like, which is pretty accurate as well. The drawers open, the whole thing, and I just actually went back and I ordered the bottom part. So I got to put this, and I'm going to do a shoot with the Awe Striker and the Vamp, and then we're going to have the boys working on their vehicles, and we're going to have a whole mechanic set up, which is really awesome because I've got like a whole bunch of the other green stuff from him, and I think that one is going to look really cool. I mentioned like a safety set, so I'm pretty sure the set, I ordered 2 sets, so I can't remember exactly how many. I think each safety set came with 3 of these ballards. Oh, I'm holding those terribly. 3 of these ballards, really awesome. I mean, I used them in that shoot. You could, if you see them right around Serpentor. Again, I should have wrote it down, but I got a bunch of these cones. Ultra accurate. I love it. If I put a wash on these, like a dark wash on any of this, it would obviously look absolutely insane. Yeah, so the 3, I think the package is 3 ballards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 ballards, 3 cones, and oh man, don't quote me on this. I should have wrote that down. And again, the good old clipboards. My dude, as always, did an awesome job with that. He just came out with a bunch of new grenades. And let's see, where the hell did I put those? Well, anyway, this is one. So same old case. It comes with, this is now the M67. So he has a bunch of different styles, but this one's brand new.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yep. Gotta have it. See, I got that in the Cobra Blue, as well as his colors with the red ones. So really awesome. Stepping it up. Always makes my pictures look better. And then I got one of these, a legacy crate for the Hiss. So I now have a warehouse full of stuff for the 788 fire team. This is that new style that looks like it's like a crate with actual wood. I love his other style crates; they're amazing. But this is really cool. Oh, and so also now that Major Blood is basically the leader of the 788 fire team, he's got his own crate, backpack, the rockets, those, and then this is the cool part. You can lift with that up, and there's his helmet. And it comes with 3 of those new grenades in there. Right, comes with it. So when you put his helmet down in there, those grenades are there. You take the I just dropped it. You put you put that little tray back in. It all fits perfect. Boom. 788. So I have no more excuses to not do that like Major Blood fire shoot that I've been talking about for months. It's that was it. Oh, one more thing. Now I dropped this and I broke the thing, but Chris is already sending me another one. But it's just like a cart. I know it's like it's perfect little wheels, but I have one of the things he sent me. I want to build up a small amount of civilian looking things so I can do scenes that like they're breaking into a warehouse. It's one of the things I have coming, right? Cobra's sending people to break into like a civilian warehouse. They have something that the civilian people don't know what it is, but I want it to look like a factory and not another military base. So stuff like this, this blue barrel. So a lot of the stuff that Chris did, he does it to like some actual like reference to the real thing. And sometimes I don't notice it. Like like those missiles that he had sent me before, and a couple of like the all the different tank rounds are actually like shape and colored accurate, right? And then this thing here is just different enough from his regular barrels, like the top where that little groove is up here, and then he's got the white caps. Instead of just one, he's got two. So you ever see those 55-gallon drums? Sometimes chlorine comes in them, or like different chemicals, because it's like a chemical resistant kind of plastic. Some people use them to build their dock. If you can get your hands on a few, they're great for that. But anyway, so this is exactly what I was thinking. I was like, all right, you can fit 2 different barrels on here, or this, and then a bunch of other boxes of sort. And I think that'll wind up looking really good. So shout out to my dude Chris, always sending me some good shit. I really appreciate it. And the same thing, with Matt from Rosemind. You send it, I shoot it. And it works
Hey,
out
you ever
well.
get any of those extreme sets?
Dream sets?
Yeah, you know about that?
No, what are you talking about?
It's pretty cool. They're like it's a company. They make massive diorama sets. They're all like cardboard, but they're like sturdy cardboard. So they're not super expensive, and you can fold them. So like, I have 2 of them. I got a log like a cabin in the woods kind of thing.
Nice.
Like red log cabin, and then I got like it's like an interior, almost like a GI Joe base looking kind of thing. I don't really use them, but they're cool. They're totally. I recommend them. It's a good company. They do everything. They'll have like wrestling rings and cityscapes and shit, and it's pretty great. They're huge, massive.
That's fantastic. So somebody in the community, I think it was Daryl, just sent me a DM with a link to. It was a company, and I feel like the name was different, but I only looked quick because I was like kind of in a rush. But that's what it was these like foldable cardboard sets. And it was like, one was like huge, right? But it was separated. So there was like 2 rooms, it was like the inside of like a warehouse type thing. And then like an alley setting on the other side. I was like, ooh, now I love to make my own shit. But the number one reason why I don't pump out freaking shots every day or every other day is because it takes so long to set shit up. And if I have to like put the wall, do this, do that, excuse me, and unfortunately I haven't taken the time to build a bunch of different things that like I have this idea of having a bunch of different walls that can be just snapped together in some way, right? Which is but space, time to put this shit together. So I don't know. I think I'll have to look more, especially if you're saying it's like feels sturdy and it's looking really good.
Yeah, they're really sturdy. Actually, Evil Duke is asking, the cabin. The cabin's pretty big. I don't think it's as big as the dojo, maybe, but it's big. It's like this big, man.
Nice.
You could fit a whole like all of the dreadnoughts in it. Honestly,
that's what's up. That's what's up.
That was kind of the theory. Was get it because it's like makes like the little swamp lair. Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah! Oh, Evil Dookie in the house, right? Let's. Who else we missed? Lego Star Wars kid in the house. Welcome in. 610 Yojo Daddy. What's up? What's up?
The about them is that because they fold up, you don't have to have them stored all the time. They fold up real nice, and you can.
Right. Well, I actually spoke with somebody when the Rattler first started hitting. Somebody had put out there. They were like, "Man, I want like a big air God, what's the name of it? Hanger. I want a hanger for my Rattler. And he's like, but I can't just keep it. And I was like, I could definitely make you something that you would be able to take apart. Now, it wouldn't look as good as shit like this produced stuff by a company, but I could definitely hook something up that would look pretty nice. And that's in essence what I do. So right over there, I do have one piece of the Cobra Claw launching facility, which is the rock face, and then there's it looks like it's a round piece of white PVC with a grate on it, so it looks like like an exhaust flue or something that Snake Eyes can fucking rip off and climb into and sneak up on everybody. Yeah, basically. And a couple other, I have two different kinds of brick walls, like a red brick wall and a gray brick wall, and then just one black wall. And I can usually use, and fencing. So I've been, switching them around enough and putting the things in different places where it's not that noticeable, but I'm definitely I have to figure something out. My brother Stevie Z has this thing that I think he's sending me one. It's basically like imagine you ever see a little paint roller, not the big 9-inch ones, but the little guys. They're like this long, and they're only like that wide, and it's just like almost a foam roller. I think he has something that looks just like that, but on the roller part it's got like just sticking out is like the pattern of brick, so I can roll it on a foam board and it will give me that brick pattern, which is perfect. Yeah, so I think I'm going to get one of those and try to make different colors of brick. And I thought it was going to be a little easier when I just started this massive collection of different parts and pieces, right? Like in that the Serpentor shot, the Serpentor shot from the Mosmine commercial that I did. In the back to the side there is an actual gas valve from like a furnace, right? And it just has these little wires and knobs and buttons on it and stuff like that. And it looks great back there. But rarely do I find out of that whole bit of stuff that I have over there, I actually use it in the dials, because it's crazy shit. You know what I mean? I just would see something and be like, yeah, I'm gonna bring that and put it back. So that's actually I'm gonna go over there with an axe and get a lot of that shit out. I'll just put it in a bucket and bring it out to the shop. So I'm not getting rid of it per se, but all that stuff is taking up valuable real estate over there. So I definitely have to go through that for sure. But yeah, I'm going to look into those. What did you say they were? Did you say Dreams?
Extreme sets?
Oh, Extreme Sets. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm the first time I thought you said Dreamscape. No, Extreme Sets is 100% what that dude Daryl sent me. Yeah, and you're right. They do look awesome. They do look awesome. So I will be doubling back to those. Thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate it. Yeah, because if I had something like that where I could just, pop a couple figures on it and stuff like that. I know lots of the members of the community have been dabbling in, like an AI background, and that's cool. I think, like, especially Roblox is doing awesome shit with it. But I kind of like just setting it up. It's like that's the playing part where you're like, nope, over here, nope, move this over here. That is largely fun, unless it's like 9:30 at night and I'm so exhausted and all I want to do is go to bed. But I'm like, I'm so close to taking the picture. That's fun.
Like I said, I bought 2 of them and I have no use for them at all. And I was like, I just couldn't resist. I was like, what? I needed to see it. I'm like, they're huge.
For sure.
They're much bigger than you think they are. Like, I think when I thought I would get it, I was like, I think the one I got that's like a G.I. Joe base. I feel like it's this big.
No shit.
It's literally like the floor is that big.
Wow. How?
It's a square. I mean, it's like you just can't even.
Right.
It's massive.
Huh.
It's really big.
You know what? I'll have to go back and look at the prices because
maybe it was $100. No, I don't think it was. I think it was like $60 or something. I think they were on sale. Yeah.
Well, then I'm gonna have to go over and check because if. So the Evil Dookie says the dojo is 3 foot by 3 foot. Yeah, man, that's sizable. So and especially if $60 is I would take the chance on it being good for $60.
I think it's in my. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
He's right here.
Hell yeah.
If it is, yeah, it is one. All right, yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is it.
Nice.
So that's the box, right? So it folds up nicely in the box, and then you get it, and it's it's cabin. Well, I'm saying it's not small.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to assemble it because that would be not a very interesting. Well, this is okay. I'll show you the floor, right?
Okay.
This is the floor.
Nice. Holy hell, that's awesome. I love it.
That's the floor. So you're talking about, you could get all the dreadnoughts.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, right. Cabin in the swamp. What a great thing. I actually had this vision a while ago. I just know that I'll never be able to do it. Was building a set where I have like this PVC board that I would be able to make a big thing with a lip on it that I could seal and have just enough water in it so it looked like a swamp, and then have a cabin on a couple stilts and have like the swamp skiers. It would be awesome, but I was like, as much as I want to say I'm going to do it, I never will. The one thing that is outrageous that I am going to do at some point as because it is the very first thing. So you've heard me mention before, like how much I love card art. I talked about it in one of the things for Serpentor's Lair. That shit triggers something in my mind that I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say is almost hits harder than like the figure itself, because it when you're a kid looking at somebody like I think the one that really was so over the top for me was Shockwave. Like he just looked so fucking awesome. And whatever it was about that is, I think it was, he came with that Mac 10, this backpack that looked right, and he just looked, I don't know, whatever it was. The card art was the thing for me. And I have to admit, now that I'm coming back around with the classifieds, something that, and I found this out because I used to stare at this, the back of the Python Patrol boxes, this is like, so it's like a path that goes all the way up. There's like a couple different spots where water's running. There's like this big huge rock, but then is it this side? Where is it? Yeah. So then there's like man-made stairs and like a thing. So this to me is like an entrance, right? Like a special entrance to a secret place. And so I had this idea. At first I was just going to build this part and then just put trees behind it, right? So I'd have water coming over the top, et cetera, et cetera. And let's see where to go. Okay, right here. Right in here, I was going to build, so this will all be concrete. I'd put greenery over the top, but I was going to build a base. Where to go? Right underneath this. So the water would be down here, and then there'll be a space. And in there, like underneath this big rock, is just going to be there'll be lights in there. I'll put something up as like, for like a gun rack. And then right over on this side, I keep doing the wrong side. Over here on this side, I wanted to build this like cove where my Python Patrol gridiron walker could come out of as like, a guardian of this thing. So I'd have a bunch of people, the guys in the trouble bubbles would be littered and different perches all the way around. Now I know you're probably like, what the fuck? It would be about 6 feet tall, about 4.5 feet wide, and probably ultimately, like if I put it back against the wall, would have to come out probably 4 feet, but more ideally 5, so I could make the hill a little more like this instead of like this. That extra foot is a lot. So I know that sounds crazy, but I've drawn it out a few times, and whenever the time comes, that'd be like the ultimate retirement project, right? When I don't have anything to do for, besides the kids, and I don't know, we'll see. But that was like the first big dial that popped into my head, and I've never shaken the vision of that. So I will be getting into it for sure, without a doubt. And just one more thing I wanted to show off real quick. So I know a lot of my brethren are always asking about lighting. And one of the things I've always been trying a few new things. I know I recommended those big, right here. So it was a good price. They stand up. It's like this big, you can raise and lower them. And you get 2 of those for like $35. You can plug it into a USB. So I can have I have these battery packs for my tools that I can set. So I don't have to plug them in. I just move it around, and I love that. Those were great, but they're also very big, and there's adjustments where I can do soft glow, hard glow, and then you can adjust the volume. But between their size and their limited capability of lowering, it's oftentimes too much. What I'm finding with my shots is that if I start off with it very dark and then highlight certain areas with different light, right? And that actually is what makes it, because a lot of my shots, when you look at the ones that are good, it looks like there's depth to it, as opposed to like even the Cobra Claw launching facility. It was just such a big thing that I had to use big lights, and it just looked too bright. You know what I mean? It looked like I don't have the words to explain it, but I just did. When I look back at those, I didn't like the way that they look. So I was hoping it was going to be here today, but I ordered. It's called a small rig, and it's basically like a clamp with a little serpentine, flexible kind of hose that has a light on the end that I can like bring right into the spot that I need it to be, and change the color, change the settings and everything. I've read a lot of good reviews, and I've heard that it's great. Now, to go along with those, I got 2 of these. So it looks just like this. It's got the adjuster, so you see that little clip that slides on this stuff, then I can tighten it down. It's got the 1/4-inch screw on the bottom, which is universal. It's got there's no name for this indent, but it's for cameras, so it can slide right on a camera. And dude, I'm just turning it on real quick. It is awesome. It is probably the best one that I've had yet. I'm pretty sure, obviously, the small rig is going to be better, but I can do, let's see, all these different colors by turning a dial in the back. So it just is like a spectrum. It brings you through the spectrum of light, which you're probably not going to see just because it's like so overblown in the camera. But then you go green up to through the red and purple. Yeah, and it's a lot. Then I can change it to, let's see. This has a bunch of settings. Cop car. What else do we got here? Yep, cop car, ambulance, fire engine, TV, fireworks, party. So just it's got 18 different settings that would give you an effect that you'd have to stand there and like click the button or do something with. So yeah, like the cop car, you can't see the color difference, but the cop car goes back and forth fast, and it's red and blue. So really, really, really awesome. And like I said, there's just a fuck ton of settings. This was $30, and so $60 for the pair, and then $50 for the small rig. I'm basically, after tax and everything, got it all from Amazon, so it's delivery free. I was spending $120 on potentially what is going to be the biggest game changer in my lighting. Right now, these are not like world-renowned products, so I'm not sure how long they'll last. But I got to be honest, these feel like there's weight to it. This housing is good. Like, they don't feel cheap at all. And I think for $30, that's a steal. I think between those two, I just have to figure out something that I can get, like a clamp or something that'll screw into this 1/4-inch, so I can like clamp it on the stuff and then because it's got nice tension. Like, oop, I think there's a thing like right here. Can I tighten that?
On a tripod if you get it.
Yes. So there's a tripod that came with those other ones.
They even have like extendable arms and shit.
Yeah.
Because it's the same screw as
So I have right. I'm pretty sure it's all 1/4-inch. So the thing that's holding my phone right now is I have one actually upstairs in my room. So I just have my dresser is right next to the bed, and I have clamped on there. It's a serpentine thing that holds my phone. So when I'm laying down, it holds my phone not over my face, but like up in the air. So I have a TV in there, but it's like so big and bright that shit just keeps me awake. But I can put the phone right there, and I'll fall asleep to it every time. So I now have one of those using to hold this now, and then I feel like I'm going to have to look. I thought about it yesterday, and I forgot. The end of it, I feel like if I unscrew the clamp part, that it's going to be a 1/4-inch screw. And if that's the case, then I'm going to order 2 more of those, because then that now makes those things like a small rig. Like, that's the beauty of the small rig, is that it's, I think it's about this big, and it's got, like I said, a real heavy duty thing that you can like bend and arc up over a shot and like have because that's what I was experimenting with when I did the shoot for this. Was I didn't have the small rig, but I had one of these. So I was doing it where I released one of the shots first, right? The one where it's Beachhead, Duke, Hawk, and Flint. Now that one, because the setting of the Oracle is on the white, it's so bright that it lights up the people standing in front of it perfectly. And then I use this to go over the back of it, and this was just lighting up all the Sys 3D Arsenal locker system. So it was like, I was lighting that what I wanted to see in the background up perfectly with the exact light I wanted to. And then I got the glow effect on the faces of the people standing there. Dude, when that came out, I was like, oh, okay, I've already made my $30 worth for that one fucking shot. And so I went and I ordered another one and it came today. So yeah, once I get some kind of something that can hold those, it's on. I really feel like I'm on the verge of cracking a little bit and of a ceiling that I think I've been at in terms of the photography, where I look back and there's the shots that catch my eye at first are all the ones that like have that perfect lighting, and so I've experimented with a bunch of different ones, but I think I've finally found the one that I need, so that's exciting. You don't take no shots, do you? Do you ever mess around and set something up?
I have not really. I'm thinking about it. I've been working on, and what I want to do, and this is something I'm not sure I have the capacity to do, but I've been wanting to make a comic book, but use classified and just like put it on Instagram. And I've been writing a script about Agent Helix. It's like an Agent Helix story. Nice. I'm obsessed with Agent Helix.
Yes.
So I'm very much interested in doing it, but it would involve me taking a lot of photos. And I teach photography actually.
Right.
But
right.
I teach filmmaking and photography at a high school.
So awesome.
I don't really like photography though. I don't do it. But the thing I hate about photography is I don't like photographing people, because I always get them in the ugliest moment. You take and snap it and you take photos and you see, and like I'll get the one where you're like, just like the worst. So anyway, I do like taking photos of inanimate objects. So I might like it. I might try it. But I think if I do it, it'll probably be that Agent Helix comic book, because I would love to write comics.
Right.
That would be I love that would be ideal. But I can't draw well. I used to be able to draw, but I can't really draw well enough to be a comic book artist. So anyway, I'm planning on doing that. It is on my list of to-dos. It's just it's a task. So we'll see if I ever get to it.
Right.
Good. I don't know if you're interested. But
yeah, I'm very, very interested. You ever need a shot, I can put something together 100%.
I would need 1,000 shots for it.
Listen,
because that's what it would be like. Panels in comic books. That's the thing that I was like, a lot of it would be a face. One thing I'm trying to figure out is how do I get a nice, clean close up of a tiny object. It doesn't feel like that's that easy. But
I think a lot of it is it's what you're using for. Like, I think there's a pretty good camera on this phone. I have a Samsung Note, and I think it's got a really super good camera, but it is limited. So I have been thinking about upgrading. And now, so you're saying you want a super good up close shot where it's like. So what I've found for stuff like that is hold the phone back and zoom in on it a little bit. You'll find. Say if it goes up to like by 12, go get it to where by 6 has it in your frame. I don't know. I know I run into that problem. So if I'm up close and there's say somebody in the foreground of the shot and then somebody in the background of or this is the background, this is the foreground. Sometimes you can only focus on one or the other, right? It like the camera doesn't know what to do. So what I do is I hold it in the same spot and then just lean back like this. And then take the picture and zoom it in afterwards in the editing part, and that brings it right to where I want it to be. And oftentimes I found that I would wind up with more of the shot that I wanted because I wasn't like putting it, not giving myself room to adjust it. If you take the shot from back farther, you can get it exactly where you want it. And I think that's great. So like something that I can tell you now, granted, I did go into starting to take pictures in a sense that I wanted to do it. I had that idea. I was just going to have Alley Viper and Shockwave in an alley and then like shoot over Alley Viper's shoulder or shoot over Shockwave's shoulder and they could see they were facing off. Because when I was a kid, they were mortal enemies. It was a fight for the urban environment, and these two were at the forefront. You know what I mean? So the one thing that I can say, again, I was going into it wanting to do it, but I think you might find just take 1 figure, 2 figures, set them up, and then just take a picture. And I know this sounds crazy, but you'll be like, as soon as you look at that first picture, my mind immediately was like, oh, I think I got it. And again, I didn't build the dial. I just took the two guys out. I can't remember who they were. I think I just took them out and set them down and I took the picture, and immediately it was like, oh, I've got to put this over here. I got to move this over. He's not turned. I'll turn him more. And it was like, I kind of went right to it. I feel like you might have that same experience. Well,
so do either though.
No, I hear you. Well, to say though, like if there was ever something where that was a project that was gonna take flight, I could do something like build a series of those dial walls like I was talking about. If we're doing comic panels this way, I could do a bunch of different things. Now, obviously, I think if like that kind of stuff was taken account into the writing, meaning like maybe this way you're not jumping to 6 different scenes in 6 pages. You know what I mean? Like you try to work it where, just keep in mind that we have to switch these shots and stuff like that. I knew that just popped into my mind because I remember there's a band that I like, the Dillinger Escape Plan. And if you've ever seen, you probably haven't, but they're crazy people on stage. I mean, this is insane music. They're amazing. But I remember when I met them and I asked the guitarist, who's just he's unreal. I remember being like, how do you guys pick like what songs to do and to give yourself like a break somehow anywhere? And he said that it's actually written into the music that way, where he's like, oh yeah, we knowing that we're going to go crazy like this, we try to write the songs like as we would play them live in a way that it gives. So it's not just moving the songs around. That was woven into the fabric of the whole thing from the beginning. Search Dillinger Escape Plan New York City show, and you'll see they were asked to play at the Virgin Megastore opening in like this mall, and I don't know who booked them there, but I don't think they understood what they were booking. And the singer like runs across the top of the crowd to start the song. It's crazy. So yeah, you definitely have to check that out. Pop Cult Frenzy in the house. What's up? You can even make it a motion comic you could put on here. It would be a lot of work. That would be unique. Listen, stop motion. I don't think I could deliver on. I think that's probably too much. But like, if we wanted to
moving into the panels with like, I could do that. I could do voiceover too because I actually have a lot of actors. I know. So, but yeah, definitely with stop motion's like hell.
Oh my god!
It's too much work.
I agreed. I did do a voiceover. So the very first, I had decided I have this idea for a G.I. Joe movie in my head. It's G.I. Joe Silent Serpents. Just a brief, so it starts off that basically Cobra had lost the war a decade ago, and nobody knows where Destro is. He's still selling arms to everybody, but he's not a public face anymore. Nobody knows where he is. Nobody's seen Cobra Commander, but it is kind of assumed that they're dead, because there's nothing. You see no Cobras anywhere. And then the one that I did, the very first one I did was basically General Hawk at some point had sent Snake Eyes out to just follow up on any leads, anything that seems like it's got a familiar Cobra ring to it, right? Anything happening across the world. And so Snake Eyes sets up these cameras in certain places just to keep an eye on things. And in that, it shows, he finally goes back to report to General Hawk. And so I had Hawk, Snake Eyes, Flint, Duke, and Beachhead all kind of standing there, and Hawk turns the laptop around to show these guys that Snake Eyes has found evidence of Cobra coming back. Like they're in the shadows, getting ready to strike, like that sort of thing. Anyways, the first one that I did the voiceover for it, and I basically only did Hawk, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know. Who else? That was close, but how am I gonna do this? Like, you know how long I tried doing a Beachhead, and I just was like, yeah, no. And like the more that I tried to do it, I just wound up having it, not just Beachhead, any of the voices that I do it to them, I wound up just sounding like an Irishman. I don't know what it is, but all my voices, it all wants to lean right into talking like an Irish guy. So it was like, and I'm by myself. cracking up laughing because I'm like, I can't not go to the Irish guy. What the fuck? So yeah. So if you've got the voiceover, I feel like there's something to be had there. It
I
would
do a lot of
really.
voices, all the time.
That's great. Now
Voices.
I do have a good Cobra Commander that if I polish it just a little bit, that is the one where I'm like, okay, this could be because I used to mess around in different bands and stuff. So all my friends always were in bands. I never put that much time into it to go on stage, but practice with a few different guys, and so I have a metal voice. So it's just like doing that, but instead of singing it, I have to get it to where I'm talking, right?
Yeah.
And adding in the from watching some of the old Sumbo cartoons in the early, I found that Cobra Commander would also just make that hissing sound without saying an S. He would just be like, you'd be like, oh, he found it. And then he would just hiss, like even when there wasn't a syllable that sounded like that. So I was like, all right, you got to put that in there too.
My Cobra Commander is decent, I think. I pull it out a lot in my videos, but I had a couple people say that it sucked. I was like, what do you want? I'm not like fucking Rich Little here. I'm like,
no.
Pretty close. It's pretty close.
No, dude. I compliment your Cobra Commander thoroughly. Actually, the one that you did with the Joe Rogan, which is beyond hysterical. I don't know how you can listen to that and say it sucks. I mean, first of all, I think whoever that was should temper their expectations on anybody doing a Cobra Commander voice because there's one guy who can do it. That's it. Right?
Yeah. I did it because when I did the little thing with Jeffrey Epstein and like Cobra Commander and I did Skeletor and I did Shredder and I did I did Mumra and I did Cobra Commander. And he's like, oh, your Cobra Commander shit. I'm like, dude, I just get all those fucking guys. I'm just one
nailed
dude.
It.
Like,
nailed it. Right. Let's see your Cobra Commander, buddy. Respond with a video of you doing your fucking your.
And then do Shredder, and because my Shredder was pretty spot on, legit.
I thought the Mumra was good too.
Yeah.
Mumra underrated.
Was shaky, but I don't know. The He-Man cartoon blows as far as I'm concerned. Have you watched anything lately?
Yes. So I tried to show my. Unwatchable. I tried to 100% unwatchable. I tried to show my kids all the stuff from when I was young, and they I think gave G.I. Joe a little bit. Speaking of them kids, just holler up to them, see if they want to come down. I told them once we got rolling, I would mention it, but I don't know if they heard me or not. They might. It's 9:00. They might even be asleep. I'm muting it so I'm not screaming into the. Huh. There's no way they're asleep already. Oh, hold on.
Mine, there's no way mine is either.
Yeah. All right. Well, see, that's enough. They'll either come down or they won't. Let's see. So that was all the pickups. And I had these other. Oh, while we're waiting for them, I'll show these two. So this is how I was just kind of talking about how getting just enough light into the proper spot. So I buy these. I get like 20 of them for $15. I pull this tab, they light up, and then it also, each one, there's a battery set in here. Each one comes with a whole other set of batteries. So if I got 20, I get basically 2 lights out of them, right? And it comes with, this is the best part, it comes with these sticky tabs. And so I can then put the sticky tab on the back and stick it into places. Dude, I know they're kind of disposable. Do you want to say hi? Where's your sister? She didn't want to come? All right, well, come on over then real quick. Everybody, this is my daughter, Paige. Paige, the man you see right here, this is my friend Mark. Hi. You say hi. So Mark is the guy I know on Mondays when I go to do my show. And I'm like, my friend Mark is having it nice enough to have me on. That's the nice man right there. Hello. So this is, you can say hi. So this is everybody in the chat. So Popcorn Frenzy says hello. These are all very nice people. So yeah. Anything you want to say? No? You want to go? Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming down, Paige. Love you. I know the floor is cold. I know. Tell everybody I love them. And go to bed. It's late.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Very good. That's so I have twin daughters. That is Paige. Her sister's name is Peyton. They're not identical, but as they've gotten older, they have started to look a lot more alike. Right. When they were younger, it was very different. But now I have to admit that it's funny. Like one looks like has the facial shape of when I was young, and the other one has like the facial look of as I was older, right? I don't know how to explain that, but it's like and I see me in both of them, but just from different time periods. So hell yeah. Well, let's I know we've talked a bunch, and we've always talked about our past with GI Joe, and it's always come out in different forms. But just so everybody watching, we'll get a quick kind of run through of what I like to call people's GI journey. So did you grow up in Rhode Island? And you're like right near the Mecca, the home base for it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I've always lived here.
Nice.
One of my friends' dads worked there. So.
Oh shit! Really? Yeah, oh, that's cool. I think I remember you saying that.
But then I also know, I know Ron Rudet's son. He's a friend of a friend.
That's awesome.
That I don't know him well, but he's like one of my best friends, good friend. So
that's awesome. I feel like Ron doesn't get mentioned as much or almost in the same way that Larry Hama does. Now I know it's not the same thing, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the images that from the card art, the shit that struck me, like all that, that's Ron. I don't know. It's like I feel like if you're going to be like,
he created the characters, really the look.
Right.
Larry created the content, but he did it based on the look. He wasn't like he didn't just come up with characters. He was like he was handed a character, and he. Like Snake, everybody, Snake Eyes, Destro, they're all around Rudat,
And he found that way to make it stand out with dudes like Crocmaster and have it be cool, right? Like just completely off the wall. You're like, wait a minute, you mean the guy who trains the crocodiles is in the army? And you're like, well, sort of, which is just crazy in itself.
That was his last year, I think.
Was it his? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was like, I can't do this anymore. He's like, I've done hundreds of these things, and I'm out of ideas. And I think that's why like 87 is so weird,
right?
Because he was on his last. He was getting out of it. He was just like, I'm done. I'm out of it. I'm out of ideas here.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I love that guy. I hold him in the highest regard because, like I said, the imagery on there is just too much. So, like, I used to stare at card art. I remember my mother even saying at one point like that. She's like, you look at the box almost as much as you play with the toys. And I'm like, I know. Because when I'm looking at this box, my mind is I'm living in a G.I. Joe world where these awesome pictures are like, and like that's whenever there was like a G.I. Joe, like a lunchbox, like the art that they'd put on lunchboxes, all those different pictures. Like I just remember looking at that, and there's a war with these characters. Yeah, I'll never be able to figure out maybe even explain it in detail that what it makes, like when I look at G.I. Joe shit, how it just literally brings my mind right in there. I don't know if I'll ever have the actual words, but it's fucking fantastic. So,
Mark, Snow Leopard remarks, Mark Pennington took over Ron. Yeah, and he did great. Mark Pennington did some amazing shit. Hit and Run, that's probably his, Hydra Viper, Range Viper.
Those are top tier figures. Who did like Shockwave and Alley Viper? That's my question. That
would be Mark Pennington, I believe. Yeah.
Nice. Well, then that's what's up. I gotta go from the shot.
I feel like he 87, but he did a couple of figures that ended up going into 88.
Right.
But he was basically 87. I think it was his last year.
No doubt. Well, that's what's up there.
Yeah.
Nice. And so you were in from the very beginning, right? I'm trying to remember when we were talking about. Yeah. And who was your first pickups, if you remember?
So yeah, so I started with the very beginning. You know, as soon as it came out, I went to the store. I was like obsessed with just all toys.
Right, right.
And so I was buying everything. And at the time, I guess before GI Joe, I don't even remember. I must have been Star Wars, I would guess. You know, but I went into the store, and I think the first one I got was Short Fuse, a Short Fuse, Breaker, and then Snake Eyes. And yeah, and it was like I didn't even know what it was. You know what I mean? I didn't really.
Right.
Remember, I got Short Fuse. I got a mortar. I didn't even know what a mortar was.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
No, there was no toy that had that militaristic detail at all.
Yeah.
Little army guys. No, that wasn't doing it.
But that little red explosion, man. It's card art. Just hooked it. I mean, they were the best figures you'd seen. They were the best figures that had existed. The articulation was, I mean, I guess the articulation did predate G.I. Joe. There was like Chips figures that had it.
Oh yeah.
But those sucked. I mean, they weren't that good. I mean, they were good for the time, I would guess, but
for sure.
Didn't really want a Chips figure necessarily. Whatever.
That's funny. We were talking about Chips on the timeline today. I had mentioned that I used to have the motorcycle. It was like, it had the training wheels and stuff, but I love that thing. There's pictures of me on it, and I am like levitating. It's so awesome. And our brother Doc Sewage, who is just like he's got one of the biggest 3 3/4 collections, I think, and he's always every day he puts up a picture of, he goes through right now he's doing Crimson Guard, right? So he has 4 Crimson Guards. So for 4 days in a row, he'll post some kind of diorama with everybody. It's amazing. I don't know how he does it. Especially since like right now he's on tour with his band Exhumed. He plays in this metal band that's fucking awesome. They just dropped a new album. If anybody out there wants to, I know Snow Leopard is into the kind of metal that I like. Maybe Metal Twister in the house, coincidentally. Hopefully you might be into it too. But let me tell you, that new album rips. It's not just super fast blast beats. Like there's some groovy shit in there. Anybody wants to check that out, I wouldn't hesitate. Nice. Well, yeah, dude, those are outstanding pickups, like for your first time around, that hooked you in. I didn't see, I think I remember seeing whoever was in KB that year before, but they didn't, for whatever reason. Like I remember, maybe my mom didn't get them for me, but I didn't get any of them because it wasn't until Destro, I saw the Destro and Snake Eyes right above them. I grabbed both of them, and that's how it started for me. But that was pretty instantaneous. The hook was in. So how else did you consume? Obviously I know you big Sunbow cartoon fan, but what about comics? Were you into the comics as well?
Yeah, so I got the comic the minute it came out. I got issue 1.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I bought every single issue until it ended. And one kind of ended, the first time.
Okay.
And I still have them. I have every issue. So
that's what's up.
Up till the first run. I didn't buy the IDW stuff. I've read it all though, but I read it online in an illegal website, Korean website that throws comics up, because it would be like thousands of dollars to buy all of the comics. So I just not whatever. And honestly, a lot of the IDW shit is not good. So, like, I mean, some of it's amazing. Like the Cobra series is incredible. Some of it is absolute dog shit. It's just some of the worst. The Devil's Due stuff is pretty consistently all pretty good, and some of the IDW stuff is like mind blowing. And some of it is like the worst thing you've ever read. So it's like I don't even want to. So I'm glad to have read it, but I don't necessarily want to have own it all, but I do own the original run, the Larry Hama. Larry Hama's run's always been pretty good. Like
yes,
even like when IDW was good, and I follow that, but not as good as it was. Although I think he did almost some of his best writing was during the Devil's Due era, and even the IDW era. He did some shit there that's just like mind blowingly good. So yeah, I'm like obsessed with Larry Hama and his impact. So he was like that was like huge for me, was just like the lore that he built and the stories he told. I felt like he was like telling stories for a kid older than me. You know what I mean? He was just like shooting right above your head. And to me, that was why it hit, because nobody else was doing that in the same way. and just that's what hooked me. That was just like a little bit above my head,
Which is probably, that's a very interesting point, because when you're at that age, everybody's talking down to you in a sense that they're not dumbing it down, but like you're a parent, they're a parent, like, oh, it's okay, little buddy. And here he is right off episode 1, like just straight crazy military shit. Like that's the thing that gets me about. So my brother Conrad sent me an edition of the #1 issue, right? And the one thing that I took away from that, I was like, yo, this is for kids, not in the sense that it was inappropriate content. I'm just saying, like, he's
a lot of death, a lot of murder,
a lot of that. But but there's no preconceived there's no you're going into like a war thing, so you kind of have an idea that's going to happen. But man, right off the bat, so I didn't get a lot of comics. I've thought about this, and I'm trying to think so there was a local comic shop, Aqualonia was the name of it, in downtown Troy where I grew up, and he never had the G.I. Joe. Now, if I had to guess, it's because he strikes me as one of those people who is like, nope, no war here, even though he's got.
Oh, okay.
There
was none of those people back then.
I don't know, man. And I don't know. Okay, you know what? That's a fair point. But I think I don't know why I remember. There's another reason why I'm saying that. I feel like there was some other information. But yeah, so I remember always going and looking for any kind of G.I. Joe I could get. So my grandfather, God rest his soul, has had family that lives in Allentown, Pennsylvania, right? Right down by my brother, CG Horror. Hey, Gus Felder, what's up, my dude? How are you, brother? And so once a year, he would go down to visit everybody, and just so he didn't travel alone, plus we were like buddies. I was the oldest grandkid on that side, so I would go with him. And there was this place down there that it was like a weird kind of combination. It was like mostly a convenience store in the front, but in the same, if you walked around to the side, like inside, like over on this side of the convenience store, he had like collectibles. So there was like football cards, baseball cards, and a wall full of like different comics and stuff like that. And he had like a big bin of G.I. Joe, and I would try to have my grandfather buy me as many as he could every time we went. And I still have some of those episodes today, or issues today. I'm trying to think, what's the one where I think it's Scarlet and Snake Eyes are walking up, and then there's like 2 Cobra Troopers behind like a paper mache house and says, "Welcome to Springfield." I think it's one of the first 10, perhaps. Yeah. But I remember getting that there. I think that's the first G.I. Joe comic I actually read, was that one right there. And I just remember being like, holy fuck, this is crazy awesome. And like one cool thing about the comics is, again, I didn't have them like read all the time, is that anytime I get like a new one, I would see a new character. Because it wasn't like I had the internet. And then I got to see like, oh, hey, the new character is coming out in this next issue. Like, be sure to go pick it up. Like, no, it would be like I'd find a G.I. Joe comic and open it up, and I'd be like, holy hell,
When you think about the weird shit that's in there, it's like you got pyramid schemes, you got Cobra Commander being a used car salesman, you got like Splinter Cells with like Fred. He's giving they give him a family. They just assign him to a family at one point. He shows up one day. He's like, "Hey, I'm your new father," and the kids are just like, "Wow, this is weird." And then he's like living in suburbia and like ready to jump, start a terrorist run. He's got you just got insane weird shit in there. That is just very bizarre for kids to be reading.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for a comic book that's based on a toy, an action figure. It's like
right.
Even the cartoon went hard a couple times. The cartoon's goofy most of the time, but then like you got episodes like There's No Place Like Springfield, or one where they go into the future. Where
worlds without ends.
Yeah, worlds without end. Yeah, it's like the best stuff. That's just freaky, man. It's bizarre.
Steeler losing his shit in that episode is something that always stuck with me big time, because you didn't really see like 100%. And I remember him and Barbecue had this crazy exchange where Steeler says something and then Barbecue responds, just trying to like seem like, oh yeah, buddy, I understand what you're saying. You know, sometimes it's hard out there. And then Steeler's like, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's like it's not even worth trying at all. And Barbecue's like, oh well, now hold on, fella, I didn't say. And then somebody else comes over the top of it. It's just a crazy little exchange. I absolutely love that. I think that's fucking awesome. But and the one with Low Light and the Nightmare, I thought that was kind of heavy.
So good.
Too, you know what I mean?
Heavy. Yeah, he's been horribly abused. Is the subtext is his father was like a nightmare, just psycho abusive father. You know, and so it's awesome. It's just crazy.
Well, I guess if what maybe the positive side of that coin is something like any kid that happens to see that maybe has that life can find the strength, the inspiration, be like, oh, I can just rise above this by, just being like Low Light, So I feel like that maybe, and it also will make, kids in that situation, because it's not like kids that are like talking to their other friends about these issues necessarily. It would make that poor kid feel not so alone. Like, oh, I'm not the only person this is happening to. So I think it's fucking great.
Nice. The cartoon gets this, it gets this, and I'm guilty of it too. It's like, because if you compare it to the comic book, it's dark. It's very like goofy, and it's very silly, and it's very like weird and like cutesy and shit. But then you have to think it's a cartoon in the 80s, and then you compare it to shit like He-Man or other stuff. It's like, or the DIC cartoon, which is horrible. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, actually, this goes hard for a 80s cartoon. It goes about as hard as it can. You know what I mean? Like it is like, I'm trying to think if there's anything edgier than it. And I don't think it's edgy except for a few episodes, but almost everything else is like, I don't know, anybody in the chat, if you think there's a cartoon that compares, everything else is very goofy. The character, the heroes are usually very like stiff, kind of good guys. They're kind of bland. Right. And then you got this, you got people like, so everything, cartoon, comic book. I mean, I've always considered myself more of a comic book, fan of G.I. Joe.
Okay.
But I'm starting to actually get to the point where I think I might be equally both. So I'm starting to love the cartoon just as much. So interesting that you say that. I remembered. So when I'm watching them lately, I'm realizing that I saw way more season 1 than season 2. So I was definitely into season 2, but like when I'm watching these season 2 episodes, I remember every single episode from season 1, and then including Arise, Serpentor, Arise. From Arise, Serpentor, Arise back, I could know them all by heart. If you start off saying something, I'll be like, oh yeah, this, that, the other thing. But when I was watching the season 2, I loved it equally while I was watching it. I thought it was fantastic. But it was like, I was like, oh, I don't really remember these as like vividly and staunchly as I did, as I do the season 1. And one thing though, it's way better in season 2. The animation's incredible in season 2. It still holds up. It's gorgeous.
Yes, and you can see it in just the opening song with the montage, like where Bazooka fires that and it blows up the bat. Dude, I remember seeing that. Like, I don't know, I can't say it for the first time, but I definitely remember like I would get so there's hardcore memories tied to like I was an emotional kid, I think, because when I think back about it, there was like the highs that would come from seeing the entrance music, knowing I'm about to watch G.I. Joe. And then I don't want to say the lows, but like the disappointment of when that montage at the end is playing. Like there's like a couple of things happen. Yeah. The part where I don't remember what episode it is, but there's balloons falling down with Cobra Commander's face on them and they pop or something like that, whatever the hell that is. But I just remember being like, oh man, I want to see more G.I. Joe. What the hell? Because it wasn't as available for me as I think it was. Kind of sounds like a lot of other people when we talk about, some people are like, oh, it was on all week, like after school at night. I don't think that was the case. I largely got to see it on Saturday and that was it. And then I definitely had some VHS tapes. I know that I had a Rise, Serpentor, Rise, because I know that like I don't think there's any bit of GI Joe that I know as well as that, right? But the Mass Device and the Pyramid of Darkness are a close second. So those are the ones right there for sure. Chris from Sinister Arsenal in the house. What's up, my brother?
Whoa.
We were showing off some of that the new stuff I got, that new haul. Everybody always loves it. It's fantastic. Oh, and I hope you saw the thing on Twitter today. My daughters put together a shot, right? They were like, oh, they wanted to pull out a whole bunch of stuff. And I said, no, we can do a small one. I just can't pull everything out of here. And so they grabbed a bunch of the Joe colored Sister Yarso stuff, and they took the retro gung ho, what's his name, Blowtorch, and the retro rock and roll. Those were the three that they grabbed real quick, and then we did that. And then so it was one of my daughters kind of drove that mostly, and then the daughter that just came down and everybody just met, she actually said, I want to open that, and she pointed to the Crimson Strike Team set. And so she pulled out the Baroness and the twins and basically set them up and took a couple still shots. But she actually wanted to she was like, oh, I want to use your new light. So she had like this red glow and was taking shots. Dude, I was very impressed at how they did
That's
it.
fun, man. That's awesome that you can do that with kids. Yeah.
So I thanked them for it last night. And first thing this morning when we were all getting up and having breakfast, I tried to impart to them how much I loved it and that how they are welcome to do it. I don't care. Just all you have to do is say, we're interested in this. And I'm going to keep asking them, hey, there's a lot of days where, maybe we're just hanging out, relaxing a little bit. And I'm fine with just sitting there with them because we're busy. Like we're always doing shit. So hanging out is cool. But I'm just going to start saying, hey, we can go downstairs if you girls want to, because, I can work on something while they're working on something, or even if I just come down here to clean up. And then that way I'm getting stuff done down here and I'm not, I'm not like, they're not sitting upstairs while I'm down here. So it was fucking awesome. I can't stress everybody enough how awesome that was. And I did it for all of my brethren that have kids that have moved on. There was a discussion. It was a couple months ago, or maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I think, that I think our brother Roblox had posted something where he has daughters that live out of town. His daughters came back into town, and he was like, "Oh, this is great! I'm going to get, I'll take my one daughter. We're going to go see a movie tomorrow." And then he asked her the next day and was like, "Hey, let's go see that movie." And she was like, "No, I'm going to go out with my friends." And so he was like, "I'm heartbroken." She's been gone. She just comes home, and now she doesn't want it. And that's the reality.
Older, that's probably what happens, right?
Yes, definitely for sure. Well, and there was a bunch of people that jumped in the comments and were like, "Oh, dude, I feel you. I'm going through it too." And I thought that was great. I think that was kind of, I don't want to say a turning point. Sounds like a little too dramatic, but I feel like the community, all the, like, with just that one post, it was a bunch of dudes who probably never talk about their feelings, right? I don't want to be presumptuous, but we're being kind of open in a particular way. I thought that was awesome because as dudes, especially our age, we grew up at a time where anybody that we knew was not out there talking about their feelings. You know what I mean? Like,
no, bunch of pussies.
For sure. Oh my God. Now my dad, I can only imagine. My dad is a great guy and things are different now, but back then, holy shit, fucking A. Our brother, our carded king Cal says, "Feelings, what are those?"
I know. I feel that's how I am kind of half the time, but
Well, I mean, the thing is I think you can't feed into it as well. I think if you're sitting around thinking about this shit all the time, then it's fucking you can't. There's no acknowledge and move on.
I like that. It's good to have some feelings. There's a certain level of feelings that some people have where you're like, "Oh, you can stop now."
Right. Well, because it becomes
too much for me. It's too much for me.
For sure. I
like when we play. I play with my kids all the time, and
awesome.
It's one of the only problems. It's kind of brutal on the shelf because you'll line up the shelf and you'll put all the weapons in the hand, and then we'll have a battle, and all of a sudden, not only all the weapons are gone, All of them have
Right.
different heads because my son likes to rip the heads off of one and put the head on another. I'm like, what happened to Gung-Ho's head? What the hell?
Nice.
So I don't know. So
Oh, so This Week in Hearthstone says the Destro Designs move to Beirut. Sounds like he's talking through a two-way radio. So I can explain. I have my headset in tonight. For some reason, when I don't know what I did, but when I set up the stream, the StreamYard did something that it was playing Mark's voice out of the earpiece for like a phone call, right? There's the speaker on the bottom, and then there's the earpiece that I would listen to a fucking phone call. And for some reason, his voice was only cut. You know what, brother? It happened when Evil Dookie was on the show too. I knew it was somebody else, and I could not remember for the life of me. When Evil Dookie came on the show, it happened then too. But I don't think it's you guys. I legit think it's whatever goes on this end of things, because, I don't know. Maybe if I have I couldn't help but think about the one time I thought I had a Bluetooth radio on. I was connected to that when I put the stream together, and then I could hear it. I went up and I shut it off, and so then I don't think it knew where to line everything up after I took that away. I know that probably sounds crazy, but it was the only variable I could think of. But thankfully, I put these on, and and I can. Do I sound like that to everybody? I'm surprised it took this long to say something. I mean, my voice is. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully it's all good. Let's see. I thought I saw. Popcorn Frenzy says, I lived in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, and I watched G.I. Joe almost every weekday. Had to get it in an antenna from a station in Vermont, but we had to. Oh God, yeah. I've played that game before where you're moving the thing around, you're like leaning back trying to see the screen as you're adjusting the antenna. Oh my God, yeah. One of my favorite things to think about is, Mark, I'm sure you probably had it too. So the first remote that came with like a cable system was a box that was like this big. It had like a row of buttons. I think it was three. It was one row of buttons. There was a dial, and then you would select which. It was something like, I don't remember the exact system but it had a bunch of buttons and a fucking dial, and you used to have to move the dial to the row and then find the one in the row and hit that bitch. And for some reason, that shit works like crazy. That was the first one. Scientific Atlanta. That's what it used to say on it. I can picture that thing in my mind, and it was like my dad's favorite wrestling accessory. So whenever we'd be wrestling in the living room, he'd be like, "Oh, boom!" and it cracked me off there. I'd be like, "Oh," and I'd have to fall down. Actually broke my nose wrestling with him one time. Just messing around, and he had me up like this, and he was kneeling down, and I was on his shoulder, and I squirmed out, and I fell, and I hit my nose right on the coffee table. I can actually remember that. I remember holding my nose and being like, "No, you don't understand. It really hurts." Like it was bad. And my mom was like, "We got to bring him to the hospital." And my dad was like, "Are you sure? Can't we just put some ice on it?" And I was like, "No." I do. I really remember that. I think I was like 5 maybe, but yeah. You can see it up close. If we ever see each other in person, you'll see it's all crooked. No. Dreadnought E, what's up, my dude? Call sign Smash, stopping in. I love it. Oh, that's Paul. Very good. So good. That's how you consume that G.I. Joe as a kid, and you already touched on it, so we don't need to go into it. But it's kind of, it pops up on the timeline every once in a while. There's people that accept the DIC cartoon for what it is. Like my brother Conrad had a good point. He's on the surface. It's like, it's got all of these characters. They introduce like all of the new people in that, but unfortunately at the expense of taking all the other ones out. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of characters you never see anymore, and it's great to see these other guys. I mean, some of my they have Ambush, but he sucks. It sucks. It's that good. It's terrible.
Everything about it sucks. It's not good.
Dude, I've truly tried like 3 or 4 times to just like pick a different episode, try it, and like first of all, the theme song fucking sucks. got to get tough. It's so corny. I think, and like, it's another weird thing about the DIZ. I don't know how the hell it got by me completely that it existed, because I legitimately didn't know any of it until I was way later, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And of course, I went
teenager. You would have been kind of over it at that point, right?
But I was such a fan that, like, if I heard that it was back, I would have went and checked it out for sure.
Well, I remember, so I watched like one episode, and I was like, "Fuck this, fuck this." And then I watched the second episode like last year because I wanted to make fun of it. But I remember seeing it when I was like, well, I guess we're talking 92, so I'd have been like a senior in high school. And I watched it or whatever, whenever it came out. I think, wait, when did it come out? I don't know. Somewhere on, it must have been 91, 92, because that's when Headman came out.
Okay.
And so when I watched that, I was in high school. And I remember watching one episode, just be like, no. But, people talk about the Sunbow cartoon being babyish compared to the comic book. Look at the Deke show. The Deke show makes the Sunbow cartoon look like fucking Game of Thrones.
The Godfather.
Yeah,
it's
so bad, man.
It is.
Like Cobra Commander, man, like that. Things like I don't need. That's another thing with Classified. I don't need references to the Deke show.
Sure.
The lizard.
Stay away.
I didn't want the lizard that Cobra Commander came with. I mean, it's cool to have a lizard. But like, I have no affection for the idea of he turned Serpentor into a lizard, and I want that figure. I don't want that figure.
I do have to say that I give that mini series Operation Dragonfire. I give that a sort of a pass because when I watch that, I mean, I still, first of all, the beginning. Oh, really? Oh, well, dude, listen. I think the entrance music is not that same Got to Get Tough. It's not that. It's something else that sounds reasonable. And the storyline of what they're doing is cool. They actually show you how they make Python Patrol, which I thought was really cool. And they make Copperhead the leader. You got to check that out. It's 100%. Now that it's definitely Sergeant Slaughter's voice. And the other, it's definitely worth a watch. It's not like the rest of it. It's legitimately different. Now it's not Sunbow good, but it's good enough that when you see the stuff that's happening, the characters they introduce, like basically it starts off, the Baroness is looking for Cobra Commander the Snake because he was turned into at the end of the movie, he was a snake. So they find him, they have to turn him back, do all of that stuff. And it's just, there's a lot. Oh, and the introduction to alley vipers, which is also why I'm like, yes.
Says he had no idea why he had a lizard. Yeah, that's why he had a lizard. Yeah, so Cobra Commander takes Serpentor, turns him into a lizard.
Crazy as that sounds, I know that's like what. So stupid. But it's like it's like they couldn't come up with anything else. Like it's not, like they're just using the same idea against the guy. I don't know. I always looked at it as that part is lazy and not creative. It's not like Retribution, like, oh, you turned me into a snake, now I'm gonna make you a lizard. It's just whatever. Although interesting that they basically they just got rid of Serpentor as a character. That was it. He's not around anymore. There's in the comics though, Serpentor kept coming back, right? Didn't Mindbender like revive him a bunch of times and whatever? Like
usually in the post, like, so he's pretty much dies within like 5 issues of being born in the original run. But then in the IDW, Larry brings him back like multiple times. Many times. He becomes Serpentor Khan at one point. He's like Genghis Khan, and but he doesn't look Asian for some bizarre reason. I don't know if you noticed that, but he's and he brings him back. I don't know why he keeps bringing him back because my impression is he hates Serpentor. And Larry Hama does not like Serpentor, even though he wrote a really great version of him in the comic. But like I know somebody asked him because he'll draw pictures for you for like commission or whatever. And he's like, I will not draw Serpentor. Don't ask.
Nice. Okay.
I love Serpentor as the comic book. Serpentor is incredible. It's great.
Yes, definitely. And he in the comic book, he is an insufferable prick. But
in the cartoon, he really is. He's just horrible.
Yeah, it's a little too much. But I do have to say that I like the Rise of Pentora Rise is an amazing set of fucking shows. They introduce a bunch of new characters like Beachhead and all of them. It's really, really awesome. And I do like the idea of the story of going and getting the DNA from all these people. Oh, listen, everybody, if you haven't watched Mark's video on Serpentor, where when I saw that video, brother, it was a video that I respected what you did so like even more than I already did, because the editing on that is perfect.
Thanks.
Where like every once in a while you do the cut in of like, oh, I bet Serpentor was a this or that, like those little facts that the way that was edited, I just thought it was for the comedy factor, it was fucking awesome. I loved it.
I'll give you a couple of previews for you if you haven't watched the video, by the way.
Yes,
Serpentor most likely has a giant cock.
Yes.
And the
literally
reason why he has a giant cock is because apparently Rasputin, who is one of his dick was so big that it's actually in a jar in formaldehyde in a museum in St. Petersburg, and you can go look at Rasputin's dick. They cut it off of him and they preserved it.
Yeah, dude, that I think I just remembered the one that got me the hardest, where you were like, most likely Serpentor was a really sick fuck. I don't know why. It's perfect. It's perfect. One of the many, many perfect fucking videos that you've done.
He's also the most prolific. Well, you can't say the word.
Right. Almost.
in all of history.
Of all time, not even close.
Because Genghis Khan is the most prolific sexual assaulter in all of history.
I've heard that saying a bunch of times, that there's a percentage of Asia that is of his descent, because he spread it in so vast a territory that it just they keep having kids, and it's technically him in the back, which is just crazy.
Yeah. It's an insane percentage of the world is Genghis Khan's.
That's crazy. Rock Lockdown in the house. Glad you made it, brother. Appreciate it. Cal says, got me the hardest. Perfect timing. Yeah, I think that's the one. I think that probably got everybody. Percentage of all humans that can be tracked back. Yeah, that's just crazy. And he has Napoleon's DNA as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's some of them that are just evil. They're not even good leaders. They're just evil. So that's the thing that's funny. It's like, wait, was it Ivan the Terrible? He's not a good leader. He's just evil. He's
not a good leader.
He's one of the most evil people who's ever lived. He's just
a
guy who beat his own son to death. He's just a monster. So it makes no sense that they made this guy out of him.
I mean, it's like you want Sun Tzu, Napoleon, and Alexander the Great. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck else was successful?
Geronimo's all right. We take him.
I would take 100%. The way of the Apache. That'll get you every time.
He's Dracula. He's part Dracula. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's a crazy episode. I think it's all of my favorite things where he would go to the different sites where he was born in, and he would remember his face would change whenever he would get in certain spots. I don't remember what was going on with that episode. I've seen it recently, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's just Sister DiArsenal says, I'm 1% or less Asian. I'm Serpentor. This I command. That's it. I love it.
You probably are, though. You're a very good chance, 50-50.
Right. Well, also, might we add an amazing classified figure? Holy shit.
Top tier. Best things ever made.
Yeah, dude. I actually don't,
it's so hard to get. It's such a shame how good it is, because it's so hard to get. But man, it is one of the greatest things they've ever made.
Yeah, I have him in the box, but I think I have to take him out and display him. Dude, the figure we got here, Napoleon's tiny cock's in a jar somewhere. It's in a private collection now. That wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe that evens out the dick size. He's got half Napoleon, half Rasputin. So.
And it was so small, a lot to overcome there. Figure is no joke. Shout out to Country Gentleman who hooked me up with it. Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to Country Gentleman, awesome dude. So back when we couldn't get our hands on dial tone, like it had barely showed up anywhere. People's pre-orders were getting canceled, and when that people start getting antsy, and I wanted it bad. Anyway, Country Gentleman sent me a DM and was like, "Yo, it's available on Pulse," and I shot over, and so I got my first dial tone. I've since bought a few. Well, so Dial Tone Crystal Ball and Mass Device Breaker were my most asked about figures all of last year. Anytime I was trading with somebody, they would be like, "Oh, here's the figures I'm looking for," and those three were on it every time. So whenever I come across something, I was just picking them up. I do have a couple Dial Tones. I'm probably going to give one away. But yeah, what an amazing figure, that one there. And you know what, the whatchamacallit, the crystal ball is pretty good too. Like I wasn't I remember I didn't order it at first because it was right when I first started collecting, honestly. And I remember seeing it and being like, you know what, I think this is one that I don't want. And then I just started hearing from everybody how awesome it was, like so many other figures at first. Like I was just like, oh, I don't want that one, and now I have three. Oh, yeah. So Sis 3D Arsenal
I don't want. I'll tell you the one I don't want. Okay. That fucking turd of a Duke in a 200. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
4th of July Duke.
Right.
I mean, just, I'm a patriotic person. I like, whatever.
Agreed.
That is just the most money grabbing bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
It's a tough sell, man, because it it has no. Listen, for a guy who loves blue and orange Alley Vipers, it would be crazy for me to say that the uniform looks silly. You know what I mean? But it just does. Like, I don't know. For whatever reason, I want to at least enjoy it for a collector's thing, right? But at the same time, I'm like, who gives a shit? Why couldn't we get? We're waiting on dudes like the other Mark from Yojo Reviews dying for that Flash. How are we getting blue? He's probably must be losing his mind right now. Fucking, like, oh, we can't get Flash, but we can get this fucking dog shit. Yeah, that's brutal.
The only thing I can say is if you're a in the package collector, I could see because it's like a package, but I'm not, and I'm not. I don't care about in the package. I have one in the package figure. The only in the package figure I have is the Destro retro card because I just got him. He was like really cheap. He was like $10 on sale, and I was like, and I have the other one, so there's no reason to open him because the other one I have is like they're the same figure. So it was just it's the only figure I have in the package because I just don't care. So for me, it's just like I'm a collector. They're not very exciting because everything goes in a big bin. I'm pulling them out. I'm either battling with them or using them for something or display. Right. Wouldn't want to display that thing, so I just don't. I don't get it. Yeah. Eyebrow Destro. I didn't even notice he has the eyebrows. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. It's nuts. Eyebrow Destro. 100%. Listen, everybody just go get yourself, if you can, the Mezco Destro. Again, thank you, Paul Morales at the Toy Chamber.
You have to get Mezco Destro.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
It's for some godforsaken reason.
$65 on BBTS.
I'm personally insulted by the fact that it's the only figure that is cheap of Mezco's is the Eugene Levy Destro. Nice. Yeah, why was the only fun. One? Like, you can't even get. I was trying to get Snake Eyes, $200 for the Snake Eyes, $200 for the Storm Shadow, $200 for Firefly. And this guy is perfect, and you can't. And he's always cheap.
It's amazing. It's amazing, dude. I'm telling you, at $65 on BBTS, so two things, $65 is incredibly cheap. And the other thing that I keep thinking about is, so Mezco no longer has the IP license, right? So if they're they don't have it anymore. Yeah, that was 3 weeks ago. No longer has now. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that means that they can't get it back, but I'm sure negotiations got to a point where they were like, no, we're not fucking paying that, who knows? Like, I don't know how that works. Like, apparently, what is there? There's 5 of them, and so maybe that was the deal. They got to make 5, and then see how it goes. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a clue, but I know that I've definitely read. I've heard it multiple places that they lost the license to the IP. So it made me think, man, maybe I should buy 2 of those Destros at $65 in case the price winds up, going up because they're so cheap. Not that I need them, but because, listen, this is what I try to do. If there's things like this where I can buy it at 65 and somebody who has the money and is willing to pay wants to pay more than that when the time comes, what I usually do is I just take the money I paid, I stick it in my pocket, and then that way I can give stuff away to the community. So like these 2 right here, bro, $54 a piece, right? And I honestly feel like I could go right now on eBay and put them both up for $200 shipped, and they'd be going like that. So then then I could take $100, buy a few figures off of like Amazon, and then just give them away. And so that shit's pretty cool. I don't like something like that takes me like no time. I don't need to stick that money in my pocket. I usually like to. That's where a lot of the giveaways that I did over the course of last year wind up happening. Speaking of which, I want everybody to stay tuned. So I'll show you a couple of things real quick, Mark. Our brother Zaman had sent me some stuff. And this is cool shit. First of all, he sent this for me. I mentioned it on a show that I thought one of the episodes that I thought it was awesome, and then I wanted to get it. That is the Arctic Snake Eyes Reaction Plus 3 3/4, not punched. That is as much as I want to take it out. That's going to stay in the package and going with the rest of my 3 3/4 cardeds. Now, he sent a few other things that I'm probably going to break up to like a first place, second place, third place prize. I'm just not so sure what it is yet. One of the things he sent was a wetsuit, which classified. It's one of the best ones that they came out with last year. It's amazing. Oh, it's amazing. And then he sent, this is Jada Toys, miniature. Was that Snowcat, Hiss, and the Vamp Mark II? Yo, these are awesome. And the package itself, it's like heavy as hell. So that I think is really cool. And then I've got this right here. It's the red. I think that's the Red Shadow Crimson Guard.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome, dude. Yeah. These are amazing. And it's in a great condition. And let me tell you, that is one killer looking 3 3/4 figure. I'm going to put that back up again in case everybody didn't get a good look. That is 3 3/4 excellence right there. Very, very happy about that one. Now, here's some stuff that is. This shit is just cool. I can't believe he sent this stuff. So this is a awesome comic. I don't know its actual value, but every time I show it to anybody, they're like, "Oh my god, that's freaking killer!" #1 Silent Mission Beachhead. So very exciting. I wish I could enter the contest so I could win that one for sure. And then he sent these 2 other little books. And Mark, you're probably going to notice them. I know it seems like every time I show them, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I had those." So this is Operation Thunderbolt. That's the one with Shipwreck, right? So Shipwreck and a shark. I don't remember the story exactly, but I do remember seeing this. But this one I know I had because I remember thinking it was crazy cool. Dude, these are copyright 1987 Hasbro Operation Tiger Strike booklet. I started reading this a little bit, and it's, as a kid, it's exciting because it's some G.I. Joe shit, right? But it's definitely some 1987 non-Larry Hama style writing, right? So my brother Zaman, thank you so much, and I should have the details for this giveaway out tomorrow in the timeline, y'all. It'll revolve around following me on YouTube, please.
According to the chat, I'm a communist because I'm not going to get that 250. I'm not getting that 250. I do not give a shit.
Yeah, right.
Call me a commie. I'm not getting nothing.
Wait, what was?
That's probably the worst. I think it's the worst figure they've ever come out with. That might be their worst figure.
Right. I think.
Falcon's their worst figure.
Right. Caller, I can't tell if you're being serious or not. I have Snake Eyes.
What do you think the worst figure they've ever come out with is? How about you in the chat? Anybody think what's worse than the Duke?
Well, dude, when people say that, I always just respond with Falcon because
Yeah,
The
he's the
face
only
is
bad figure.
it is. I honestly I don't know. I don't know which one. So like at first I thought I was like the red ninja and then the two
I
pack blue
love the Red
ninjas.
Ninja.
I like them now. I bought the red ninja and it's fucking amazing. So now the only other one that I was like, what do I want these blue ninjas for? Like I don't know of them from the comics.
You are
Dude, they're
correct. I
awesome.
will buy the October Garden the second it comes out. I love it.
I will.
But won't you? Come on, who doesn't want that?
Nice. Oh, Mo's Mind says
Akiko is the worst figure, baby. I don't know.
yes.
It's probably a good figure.
Wait, don't let just another jerk say that. Don't let hear you say it. My dude is bought
Akiko is a good figure, but a horrible character. She's the worst movie character I've ever seen. She might be the worst.
Yes. She's like the definition of blonde.
This is the same figure. It's the same figure with a different head sculpt, right?
Right. 100%. Popcorn Frenzy says Lady J fig is pretty meh. Well, I have to admit.
Yeah, okay, it's pretty bad.
So
you're right.
If you're talking about this one, it's
the face.
Yeah, man. And if it wasn't for the face, I wouldn't mind any of it at all. I don't mind her accessories. I think they stuck true to what she had with whatever the hell the thing with the spear is. But I put Dusty's green, whatchamacallit, in her arms, and I don't know. I mean, I don't mind posing that like that. I think that one looks pretty cool. But her face is definitely very mad. I don't know what the difference is between that one and the and the retro. They're the same thing, basically.
There might be like a color, like a different green or something. You know what I mean? It's almost no. Yeah, that's gonna be a shame. One of them I'm really hoping is when you get the Snowcat, will her head fit? I think it's not gonna fit on the ball for the old Lady J, and that's gonna be tragic because if I was gonna do anything with that figure in the Snowcat, the first thing I would do is I would take that head off and I would put it on the Lady J figure because the figure's good. Her face is horrible. Her face sucks.
No doubt.
I don't I don't need the snow version all the time. So I'm really hoping if she could have that. Yeah, if you could get the does she even come with her javelins? I don't even know.
Well, there's no extra ones, but it definitely it comes with this one right here and that little whatever this is. Remember, she had this thing and then it went in there, so this goes through. It's like a launcher.
Yeah, but then she has the several. But all right, so Lady J has a hinge neck. But what I'm finding, and because I found this recently, I went to buy some figures. I bought the because you get a lot of extra heads with the slice and dice pack.
Yeah,
came with a lot of extra heads. So I was like, I'll put them on my blue ninjas. Because I'm like, that'd be great because they're extra heads. I don't have use for them like that. That dragon face that is very cool.
Yes,
that dice came with. It's so good, but I'm going to use dice. I want dice to have dice face, so I want that drag. So I was like, I bought a couple more blue ninja packs. I got them, totally different head knob.
Nice, yeah. So Mo's Mind says
the neck pins.
Mo's Mind says there's replacement pegs on eBay that will make it convert. Dude, honestly, well, if you any kind of custom stuff. Mark, that our brother Evil Dookie's got that YouTube channel where there's a bunch of he's the guy that did the Dreadnought whatchamacallit, and oh my God, he made this. He called it the Hawk's Nest, and it's a giant GI Joe base. It's like if you've ever seen any of the big things that I do, it's like that. And he did it fucking awesome. He took like it was maybe a LOL dollhouse perhaps, and it had three levels with the different rooms. He hooked it up. There was different shit going on everywhere. He had all the different dial pieces. Some stuff I think he printed, but I know he had like a lot of Sys 3D Arsenal stuff in there. And dude, he had a courtyard set up with the vehicles, and actually had the sentry posts like on the sides as like a gate and an entrance. It was pretty fucking awesome. I'll say that. He does a show on Friday. Him and his brother, or not, I don't think it's his actual brother. They each are working on. It's a very different style show. They're each working on something. right? But there's two, they're not working on the same thing. They're each customizing something different, and they're using the tools, little Dremels, and going to town. So if you ever want tips and tricks or anything like that, that dude knows how to do some shit. He took a Stinger and turned it into one of the dopest cop cars I've ever seen. Just like fucking phenomenal. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's see. Yeah, as far as replacing all that stuff, dude, I haven't done any of it. Shit, I ordered a shirt for Night Force Quick Kick, and I still haven't had the balls to take his arms off so I can get the vest off. I'm just like, I'm worried I'm gonna fucking break it. I mean, now I have an extra set of that. I have a second set, so I might wind up, doing it because God forbid I break something. I have another Quick Kick, so. And I do want to get good at that because there's things that I want to do. I have this RIT synthetic dye, which will allow you to dye plastics. And I think it worked. From what I've been hearing, it works really well. So like I have some shit where I don't have to do it anymore because I have my brother Aaron Sparrow is customizing a guy for me. But I sent him Metalhead, and he is turning Metalhead into look like this. He's gonna, there's some existing grays on Metalhead, but he's gonna make them mostly this blue with some red. And now Scrap Iron is gonna have a guy that can stand right with him, launch mortars and stuff like that. Because I have like a Cis 3D Arsenal case that's blue with the red Cobra logo, and it's got blue mortars with the red stripe. So like they're just gonna be standing back here, standing behind like 5 different not missiles, the drones. Because there was a guy who was selling them. He was selling just the drone for like $15 shipped. And I was like, you know what? I'll take a couple of those because they're awesome. It's a lot cheaper than, like Gridiron makes good mech, but it's pricey. So this thing right here.
Stuff. I don't know if I have you got any of it?
I do. Well, since I've happened in the Moe's mine, that's where I go for this kind of stuff. But this was like $70. And now that I know what I know about 3D printing, I don't know. I guess you want to say that that's reasonable, but it's a lot, man. This is pretty cool though. There's detail to it. The one thing that I had to get though, because in the picture it's got Beachhead on it. Is this thing right here? It's an 209 style. Actually, the only thing what I really can't stand about it is these two 50s fall off. But let me just pop these on real quick.
Does it seem 3D printed, or does it feel like?
No. This I have to say doesn't really. Okay. This feels pretty sturdy. The other one is pretty thick too, but this one, it's got the foot. That's where the figure stands on there. They hold on to this right here. 50/50s, and this is a grenade launcher, lots of articulation, and their stuff is kind of modular. And I'm happy that I have that mech walker and that other little drone just to kind of beef up the Joes, because I don't have as many vehicles of the Joes as I do for Cobra. And this is something that I got from them too. This was they had it on sale for like $25. So I was like, you know what, give this to me. It can go with the desert guys. Because like this ball is very articulated. This kind of moves around. I do actually like this. This for the price that I got it at is a really good deal. There was also a silencer on this big heavy weapon. So this can come off, they can hold on to it. But there was actually a silencer on there. I since have taken it off and put it on a bunch of their other weapons because it's like a killer silencer and it looks awesome. So yeah, no, I largely, if I want something, I'm just going to go and grab something from Moe's mine. I know he's talked about potentially making mech like that, but he's got some other stuff coming down the pike. I can't talk about it yet, but everybody needs to be excited for what he's fucking with now. Everybody remembers when I told you guys, like, I couldn't tell you about the Oracle, but I had seen it and I understood what it was, the end result was going to be. And even that alone was enough where I kept pumping it up to like no end. At some point Matt was like, oh, no pressure on this, I guess, right? I was like, no, you're going to do fine. And it delivered. It's one of the more amazing things that I've gotten in a while. So I think he's going to do the same with this next endeavor.
A lot of votes in the chat for the worst figure being Tiger Force Dusty. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah. He does.
That's a good one.
Even Dusty, not the best figure, the regular Dusty wasn't that great. He was fine. He wasn't horrible. But so then when you Tiger Force him, his color scheme is just stupid.
Right. So
the original Dusty figure, I feel like the original Dusty figure it's fine, but the original Dusty figure, when you're a kid, it was like awesome. It needs soft goods. You need soft goods head. They should have done that. Agreed.
I think that's good. I feel like they could have redeemed a lot with a soft goods bit there. I have to agree.
Maybe they should do a retro and do soft goods. But and then just another jerk, Shipwreck. Yeah, Shipwreck. It's pretty good, but to me, he's like my top 5. So I want him to be the best figure they ever made, and he's definitely not the best figure they ever made. But
and you've got that.
What's that?
No, you've got that good point too. That he doesn't come with that whatchamacallit thing, and that seems like what are we doing?
You know, you want that weird weapon. It's just like he lost a little bit of his character without it. The grappling hook does not cut it. It's not the same, dude.
Agreed. I feel like that would change that figure a lot. So I did pick up the Shipwreck when I got my Vamp. My brother chucking and trucking threw that in with the Vamp, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm glad I got it because it's Shipwreck, but it's for sure.
He's definitely not a fail, but he's not as perfect as he could be.
Agreed. What is it? Most mine says
hair thing because it does come off, like when the hair. It's if you're playing. I mean, I might just glue him someday, but I'm not a big gluer. But yeah.
It's a little bit of a bummer. Matt from Mosmine says, I want a shipwreck head with a nightcap. Listen, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. If I had one of those, I'm going to put it immediately on a Monster Force body and give myself, tactical seal shipwreck. Because that one that they came out with that had him in the cap with the vest and it was all tabbed. I mean, what was that, Pursuit of Cobra? That had that, whatever one that was fucking awesome. It's definitely not the traditional way. Fine, beanie, nightcap. I read up saw him wearing a Scrooge nightcap. Oh, that's funny. Yes, no, you're right. It is actually a beanie. But I knew what you were talking about. So I'm just waiting. Chris from Sister Arsenal, he wants the same thing. So I'm just waiting for there's people out there that 3D print full on heads, but a lot of times they don't come painted, right? There's the people who can make these heads. They don't have a paint app. So, and I'm not going to fucking do it because it would just look absurd. It would look like those AliExpress AliExpress troopers. Have you seen any of those? So if you go on AliExpress, the retro trooper they're offering for like $4. I'm not kidding. Conrad had gotten a few. And when he put them up next together, dude, the eyeballs are like super wonky. But I mean, it's crazy. But otherwise, dude, to be honest with you, for $4, it looks totally fine. Why those eyes are? I mean, dude, they're literally like, and they weren't fucked up in the same way. They were off like one had the eyes looking out, one had one out, one looking in, one, it was, I don't know what the deal was. I think somebody definitely was hand painting like the eyeballs or whatever. That's just, I don't know how that works. There's a printed one, but it's not the best. No doubt. So it doesn't look like it exists. And Cal says Pursuit of Cobra had the winter head and Arctic version. Yeah, I would love to have that in a classified. We gotta make that happen. There's so many different things. Like I am dying, just straight up dying for either Blizzard, Salvo, Ambush, or Lightfoot. Please give me any of those 4, and I will be happy. At least just announce it so I know it's coming. I'd be hard pressed to imagine that we don't get Blizzard in the year of the Arctic. We've got the Snowcat coming in the beginning of the year. The Arctic is coming at the end of the year. I want to say I feel confident that we're going to get a Blizzard somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that'd be great for you.
He's got to be deluxe. He's got to have that backpack that somehow turns into a thing that he can ride on. You know what I'm talking about? We got to have that. 100%. Very nice. So where my sheet fell there. And we've done something else we've talked about before. I think a couple of times we agree on the Snake Eyes Commando to Ninja ratio. We have the same numbers. It's and most people I think in the chat relatively agree. Give us your percentage, y'all. So Mark and I like it where Snake Eyes is a full-on commando first that has ninja training, right? He's not a ninja. He has ninja training, and that's what makes him the alpha commando. So, what do you all think about that? Let's see. I want to. No, I'm not going to say that one. I really want. Oh, where'd it go? I really want a fast draw to battle Metalhead. Now, that's a good shout. You would think that we would be able to get that because of the Metalhead, the reuse of the Metalhead, right? I think that would be the best. And it's a good shout. He's an underrated figure. I remember having him, and I don't remember what I lost, but I remember losing. It was either the backpack or maybe the leg ones. I'm not sure. I just remember it being. Popco Frenzy says 80-20 Commando Ninja. 80% Commando, 20% Ninja. I love it. Yeah. One of the coolest versions of Snake Eyes is Cal. What is that 12-inch Snake Eyes that you have? What is the brand? Listen, Mark, it is a 12-inch Ninja Commando. It basically looks like Snake Eyes version 4, but they have the colors on it in a way like the vest is all black. It's all soft goods. He's got the 2 swords. It's probably one of the coolest looking Snake Eyes I've ever seen. Totally
3-0, awesome. Yeah. 3-0.
Oh, nice. Yep. There we go. So that's the one right there.
Destro. I've been thinking about getting. I haven't gotten them yet, though.
The 12-inch?
Yeah.
That's what's up. That sounds good. Yeah, that one that Cal has, I don't know if I'll be spending. Cal, if you don't mind, what did you pay for that? Because I would really like to have it, but I just don't know.
It's easy, right?
Oh God, I was guessing 3, but I honestly have no idea. Yeah, very interesting. No, if you don't want to say, brother, that's okay too. And Mark, if you don't know, the gentleman I'm speaking to, our brother Cal, I call him the carded king. So this dude has everything in a box, but it's not just in the box. I got it on sale for $111.
Wow, damn.
Oh,
okay. I think it usually is about 2.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I feel like two is fair price because it's like the chest rig with all of those pockets. There's buttons on every one. It's just phenomenal. It really grabs the essence of the Snake Eyes Commando. So
180 looks like about the.
Okay, that's what's up. I like the way he was portrayed in Resolute, where he looked more than the commando part. He had the goggles, but like the one scene where he jumps out of the plane with the wingsuit and he lands, he starts off using, just his swords. He kills those first few troopers with his swords, and I thought that was cool. I still can't get over that. The only part about Resolute, well, first of all, they killed Major Blood. I didn't like that. But the only other part that I have to complain about is the one part where Scarlet and Duke are down below deck or something in a compound, and all of a sudden, ding, the elevator opens, and Scarlet goes, "Alley Vipers," and then they turn the camera back, and it's troopers. They're troopers. It's not Alley Vipers. It's not even anything to be fucking confused. That shouldn't bother me, 100%. But for some reason, I don't know. That made me insane. Otherwise, Resolute is the shit. I would take more of that now, considering oh God. And I know we talked about this the other day, but just to kind of recap about the movie, there's a lot of people that are hopeful, right? And I'm trying to be as hopeful as I can too. But geez, I just don't know if they can pull it off. We have no real track record of Hollywood.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it'll get killed and turn around.
Okay. That's an interesting perspective. I would definitely rather not.
Think about it. The G.I. Joe Transformers movie. Remember that was coming out?
Yeah, right. Well, the show they were going to do that. Are you talking about the cartoon? Oh, that is going to happen.
No, there was a G.I. Joe Transformers movie that was going to happen. Did you watch Rise of the Beasts?
Transformers. I did. Oh, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So at the end of that, they say G.I. Joe is coming. He gives them the card for G.I.
Oh shit.
Joe.
Okay.
They're going to make it, but that's done. That's not happening.
Oh,
they keep canceling it.
You're right. You're right.
Lady J TV show a few years ago.
What?
If Snake Eyes had been a hit, there was going to be a Lady J TV show. Amazon was going to produce it.
Oh, okay.
That would have been great. Okay. That would have been cool, you know?
Well, look, I'll tell you this. When I look at what they did with that show, Rings of Power, now I know a lot of people don't like that because Lord of the Rings, this is a Lord of the Rings prequel. Dude, there are scenes that are just fucking amazing. In season 2, the very beginning of the first episode and then the beginning of the last episode, bro, are like episode 8, season 2, episode 8, the first like 5 minutes are, when you watch it, you're like, it's powerful. And everything that it felt like they were grabbing a hold of the spirit of it, right? Now, I know there's definitely some Tolkien diehards that are like, no, it was written like this in the book, and it was written like that in the book. And to be fair, that would be our concern, is that they're not being true to the source material. But this just seemed like they were minor details. They didn't change any of the characters or how they fit into the lore. It would be like, oh no, he didn't go to this place until years later. They just kind of, made it so they could tell, this fucking massive story in just a couple episodes. And what's crazy, they spent, if I remember correctly, I think they spent like $1 billion on that first season of Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. It's a crazy number. I remember reading it and just being like, wait, what? And visually, it was definitely amazing. And the first season was good, but the second season really cranked it up. Like a lot of shows, I could slice out some of the bullshit and then say, okay, here's a better version of it. But, sometimes to tell a story, you're going to have parts that, I don't know, because there's just so many different characters and shit. But if you've never watched that, it's worth a shot for sure. So as when you were a kid, what did you like besides G.I. Joe?
I was a really an obsessive toy dude, so I bought everything. I would try everything. I was really into He-Man. I was really into Star Wars. I was into a lot of Hasbro. To me, Hasbro is the best. Mask is my number 2. I'm obsessed with Mask. I love it. Very big Mask fan. I love Cops. I love Visionaries. Those are some of them weren't the ones that weren't that big were big to me. Like Cops was huge to me.
Right.
Visionaries was really big to me. I have Brave Star, Sectors. I got some over there. Inhumanoids. I only had a few. Now I'm starting to collect them right now. I had some of the figures, but yeah, I would try things all the time, so I was really into a lot of different lines.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, superheroes, superpowers. I was a big comic book dork. I read all the comic books. Superpowers was big. Marvel's Secret Wars, which is not a good toy line, but I was into it.
Nice. That sounds right. Yeah. It's funny. The first two that you mentioned were Mask and Cops. Now, I didn't buy any other stuff, but who's the Mask guy that has the green motorcycle that turns into a helicopter? I had that one.
Turner and Condor.
Nice. So I definitely had that one. And I remember really liking the other ones too, but I think they were pricey, or there was some aspect to it that I passed.
Visionaries, huge in Visionaries.
Nope, Visionaries are dope. Definitely, for sure. Cool concept. And the cartoon was, I think I remember kind of liking the cartoon. Cal says, I still have a few of my Cops. Cal, stay tuned. They're going to be releasing, who is it, Detective Bulletproof or Officer Bulletproof?
Here we go. Got my Visionaries.
Nice. Oh, you got a vehicle. Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Who was the?
Rambo. I was into Rambo. That was cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh my God, I remember I got to watch Rambo: First Blood Part Two when I was way too young to see it. I remember I had the flu and I was very sick. I remember I was at my grandmother's. There was people around the clock that were around me all the time. As a kid, you have a certain memory of it. Obviously, the adults were looking at it differently, and I think I was like super sick. Yeah, because I remember them like feeling so shitty that basically my grandmother was like, "I'll put anything on for you. What do you want to watch?" And I remember she flicking through the cable, and it was like, there it was, Rambo. Boom, just leave that on. I'll watch that. Thank you very much. I think I saw a bunch of shit that week that I was sick that I definitely shouldn't have watched. My parents, were young when I was born, so there was a lot of, I think, just something on the TV and nobody was really paying attention to what I was watching, sort of thing, until all
That
of a
was
sudden
everybody in the 80s. Yeah, everybody in the 80s.
for sure. Yeah, until like a giant swear word got thrown out, or maybe they walked out and there was some boobs, because there was boobs all the time too. Like that was a very 80s thing. Something, when you're a kid of the 80s, when you get the HBO guide, and then in the back they'd have a key, like a kind of an index to tell you what the ratings mean. So like if you find this movie is listed, and then it'll have like the rankings in it, and the one that they had was SC for strong sexual content. So you used to always scan right through which one's got SC, and then I'll watch that one. It's just hilarious. Wait for a young man with no internet porn to find some way to see some naked chicks.
We figured it out, man. We made it happen.
Definitely. Cal says the Rambo figures were bad just like the Karate Kid and Chuck Norris figures. Agree. I think I remember them sucking pretty bad.
A little better. No, they were all right. They were like, they had, they were like comparable to He-Man.
Okay.
They're not as good as G.I. Joe.
I like it.
They had the swivel legs, and then they had their arms were like He-Man, just up and down, up and down. But they had good weapons. You could a lot of them could holster their weapons.
Oh no shit!
You didn't get a lot of that then. And they had occasionally had things like a missile, like he came with an RPG that you could launch, but it launched pretty well. It was like scaled right.
Okay,
they're pretty good.
Nice.
I thought Chuck Norris. I didn't get Karate Kid figures, but I got Chuck Norris figures too.
So I don't think like every once in a while I get a random toy for like a birthday. I largely got mostly G.I. Joe. Now I'm trying to think. I definitely had a Sector. I think I had the B. I think I had the Flying B, and then there was also Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. So the vehicle that had the thing that came over the front, and the
buzzsaw one.
Yeah, yes. So I had that, and I remember thinking that was fucking awesome. And then there was
figures.
I don't know. Oh yeah, no, they were goofy looking too, but no, those things were fucking awesome. And then there was I don't know if I'm gonna remember the name of it. So there was Tonka came out with a line of vehicles that were like metal. They were all like a tan and black, and they had like a Mad Max feel to them. Yes. So like the one said like Destroyer up the side. I can't think of the name of those.
Add two of them.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I had the Destroyer one, and I think my cousin had another one. But I don't know what
the hell it was called, but those are great.
For sure. But out of all of them, for me, it was if there was something that I would have gotten if I could have, or whatever the reason, would be Mask. Because I remember they had the figures looked like a lot like a G.I. Joe in a sense, the size, the detail. And then they had, to me, it was almost like a perfect union of like Transformers and something else, right? Yeah. Like these cars are sort of transforming, and the figures were cool. Oh, the gas station base where the sign would open up and a gun would come out. Like I thought that was just really, really awesome. So Mask definitely had 100%.
Yeah, I had almost all a Mask. I was big in Mask.
Oh no shit, that many. That's cool. Yeah. So, something that did grab my attention at the end was Ninja Turtles.
when Ninja Turtles first came out.
Yeah. Spiral Zone. Yeah, that's so good.
The who? Oh, nice.
Ninja Turtles. I had a few Ninja Turtles, and I love the cartoon, but I didn't love the figures that much. But
I don't remember. Well, the first movie I saw was that Ninja Turtles movie, the live action one. Crazy. They don't even make shit that looks that. I mean, come on. I thought it was fantastic, and there was something about it. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I really liked Leonardo. I thought he was awesome. So I did have all 4 of the Turtles. I didn't have Splinter or Shredder or nobody. I had all 4 of the Turtles, and then I remember I traded them for the 4 Turtles for 4 different cops. Or no, it was 4 Turtles for 3 cops. I had Bulletproof. The guy that came with the dog,
mm-hmm.
and then the one bad guy. And then one bad guy.
Suit? Which one was he?
I think so.
Suit had a gun. He was cool. He had a zip, whatever, zoot suit. And
then
they had the big fat guy, the leader.
I think it was the dude in the zoot suit.
Blitz. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was
the best one. Yeah, he was cool.
Right, for sure.
Actually, I like the little he did a skinny, like mad scientist that had you can see his brain. That was cool. That guy was
right. Oh, Cal says Dick Tracy figures were garbage. My younger brother had them. I remember that as a kid. That movie was wild, right? It was goofy, but it was also kind of serious. If I remember, I don't know. It was like Warren Beatty didn't look.
I don't remember it at all.
Oh no shit! With Warren Beatty, Madonna was in it. Oh my God! They had lips manless. They put him under the lamps when they're interrogating him. Yeah, no, you do. I'm gonna try to find it myself because I wonder if I loved it. And I remember it being like super cool. So I'm wondering if it like holds up in that way still for sure. They spoiled the movie with the figs. Just another jerk. Yeah, 100%. Rock Lockdown also said something earlier when I was talking about the Resolute Alley Viper. He said obscene, absurd Alley Viper false flag. I know, that's terrible. Chaz Palminteri. Nice. Yep. Yep, Madonna was in it as well. Wait, Rock Lockdown says Al Pacino. Oh, right. He had the thin pencil mustache.
Yeah.
I think he might have been the head bad guy. Now that we're talking about it, yeah, definitely. Mark, if you get a chance to go look for it, watch it. It'll hold up a little bit, I think. Nice. So just to move it on up to the future and keep it moving here. When did you start collecting classifieds?
So when they first came out, I was like, nah. And then I saw the design and I was like, meh. I thought the Roblox, the Duke looked horrible. I thought Scar looked okay. And then I think I was like, I saw Destro and then Snake Eyes. And I was like, oh, I want those. So I ended up getting Snake Eyes, Destro, and Scarlet. But then when they finally hooked me was when they made Pimp Daddy Destro. Then I was like, oh, fuck. I'm in.
That's
like, we came with the flaming money. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm in. I wasn't buying toys at the time. I was just, it wasn't really a big focus for me. It was buying. I hadn't bought toys in a while. And I've always bought toys here and there, I kind of bought them late, but every once in a while, like I bought all the 25th anniversary G.I. Joe stuff.
Right,
I don't know what year that was. I could certainly figure it out mathematically, but
2008, I think. Okay, I've talked about this recently. Yeah.
So that resurrected my interest. But at first, when I saw them, I was like, nah, I don't like this design. And then, but then they hooked me. I did get the Scarlet. I like the Scarlet. I like the Snake. The Snake Eyes is great. The Destro's great. I love the Trooper. The Cobra Trooper is an amazing figure.
Amazing.
The Cobra Commander is good. So there's a lot of good figures in the first line, but I was not hooked because I was like, they're not. I didn't like where they were going with it. But then they definitely changed when it hit. that when Major Blood came out, and I think that was it for me when I really got it. I was like, okay, now I want to buy everything.
That was
not
that
everything.
was,
I want to buy, like, I remember the
I'm
bangers.
in.
I
I'm
thought it
in.
was going to last 3 years. I thought it would be over.
Right.
by now.
I've heard a lot of people say that. A lot of people who are collectors of different kinds of things just assume they'd get a bunch of waves out, and that would be the gist of it. That it wasn't going to be like a lasting kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that it is. My journey is very similar to how you said. So in 2008, when that 25th anniversary stuff came out, my mom bought me. It was the they did the mass device, so you get a DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had, so I got the one that, because she knew I loved Destro, so it's got the Destro, the Lady J, and the Roadblock, and Roadblock is in the vines. Awesome set. But that was like, I remember when she got that for me, it was for my birthday, and I remember being like, oh wait, they what is this? They're making stuff? And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is the G.I. Joe that I love. Look at these figures. And so I remember going to Walmart, and they had a bunch of shit, and it was all on sale. I got the Fang, the Hiss 1, the Hiss 3, and the Awe Striker all in the box still, which is cool. And then it was a newer version of the Dragonfly with like the coolest version of Wild Bill. I'm actually going to, one sec. I've seen the 25th anniversary. The one that comes on a card is actually very, very good. Oh no, where's this fucking hat? Oh, there it is. Whew, I was going to say. So this looks definitely different than a lot of Wild Bills that you've seen before, but I don't know what it is, man. This one is just fucking absolutely awesome. Super cool.
Oh yeah.
He's just got a different kind of flight vest on. The pants are real nifty with the knee pads and shit. But look at the Dragonfly. This fucking thing is awesome for a 3 3/4 jammy. I thought it was really cool. It's got these things on these missile launchers on the side. Hold on, where's the thing? Right there. So the missile things pop out and everything. Yeah. So I remember I bought all those, and then I had gotten, actually, this was right around the same time that the live action movies had come out. And so I remember I bought I think it came in a multiple pack. I got the stupid Cobra Commander with that like translucent head, and I just whatever. The Destro wasn't that good. It was that Iron Grenadier coat that he had on. It was whatever. And then what was the other one? Oh, and then I think they came in a 3-pack. It was the Elite Viper, the Underwater Viper. I can't remember what they called it, and then the Arctic Viper. And honestly, that Arctic Viper is slowly but surely becoming one of my from non-characters. This and that version 8 Iron Grenadier are like my most wanted in a classified. This is fucking awesome. That is killer. It's got the big snow pants on the bottom, all kinds of shit. He's got his built-in like backpack is all right into his jacket. I just think that the hood, I don't know. It all looks fantastic. So nice, very good. So so you got right into it relatively early, which is great. And we already went over our favorites last week, so we don't need to crack into that. But we did me, you, and Mark pick Major Blood as our #1 Cobra figure.
Yeah,
so
he's the best
yeah,
they ever made.
You can't fuck with that either. And it's I tell you, going back and looking at the original Cobra Island one really makes me appreciate the new one, in a sense that the new one actually has some amazing upgrades, but the look of the Cobra Island one is, you just can't fuck with it. It's so true to the original figure in that it's brown and black, right? There's no other colors to like. I think they gave it the perfect upgrade for like his arm and all that other shit, and I think they did it just right. So I thought that was a pretty good deal for sure. Is there anything, I know I named a few, is there any figures that you are really itching to get? Like, have the ones, whether it already exists and you just haven't picked it up yet, or anything that you're looking in the future like, man, help me out. We need this.
Yeah, I have Snow Job. That kills me. The fact that he was so hard to get and I missed him.
Okay.
So that's the and then like as far as ones they haven't made, the biggest ones that I definitely want a Quinn. Quinn is my number one. My number two is this guy, Dark Ninja Master from Sigma 6. Very obscure.
Nice. Oh yeah,
But
yes.
man, is he the wildest looking character ever. I ended up buying him recently on eBay.
Yeah.
And he's just insane. And I think Classified could do an incredible job with this guy. And he would be great because they love making ninjas. And we got a lot of good guy ninjas. He would be the wildest looking ninja they've ever made.
Nice. My brother Conrad, I think that's one of his most wanted as well. He recently picked that up. Yeah, dude, that looks crazy. Yeah, man, Classified would totally crush that. Look at that shit. So I know, my brother Conrad, actually, yeah, he wanted that. I thought somebody else may have mentioned it, but Conrad definitely did. Something else I remember you mentioning on a previous show that I think we did like a while back was when we were talking about this, you had brought up the Data Viper. And I thought that was like, holy shit, that's right. I think that is just begging for the classification treatment. You know what I mean? So, Chaotic 3158 says, I just got Snow Job from my local toy shop. Nice. This last Thursday.
He's running like 150, 200 right now.
I've seen him pop in at $80. And 110 on Facebook groups. What's your ceiling, bro? If I see one for under 100, you want me to grab it for you?
Sure. Fuck yeah.
I'll keep that in mind as I'm looking.
Complete.
Right. Oh yeah, no, it's gotta be.
I don't care about the box because I'm gonna take him out of the box.
Sure. Nice for sure.
I'll take him.
No.
I'll take him out of the box the second I get him.
So for sure. I've been impressed with a lot of the different figures, but that has to be one of the ones that really sticks out to me. He was an honorable mention, but it was one of those things where like it was hard to squeeze him in amongst those other figures the characters but what I like most about it is that all of his stuff fits on his backpack. You just like we need to have a lot more of that. I don't care if you got to give him a bigger backpack. It doesn't look ridiculous. The poles, the skis, his rifle, and the snowshoes, they all fit on there. So hell yeah. Well, I'll keep an eye out for you, brother, because every once in a while, like there was a guy.
Killing me, man. It pisses me off. They made him so hard to get. It's like he's a major character. He's one that everybody would want. It's like, what are you doing? Making him hard to get. It's stupid.
Right, and it's. I mean, he's got to be the most used Arctic Trooper because he was in the Mass Device, right? When they went to go look for he was in the Mass Device. It was him and Lady J were out there, or Scarlet were out looking. Yeah, amazing. Well, hopefully maybe we can score something on that. But let me tell you, I mean, be hopeful about it because it's like on those Facebook groups. I don't know if I ever get better deals like there because it's somebody who's just like
ever. I never look at Facebook.
Well, so I mean, really, like the groups, not the marketplace. Like my brother Jeremy hosts a group called The Pit, a GI Joe group. It's awesome. There's a bunch of decent people in there. None of the bullshit that you can find in a lot of the other Facebook groups. Not knocking anybody. You go and enjoy this in whatever way you want to. But no, Jeremy does a great group. They have actually like raffles all the time where like you can buy like a $3 raffle. And I think I just won. I won a Cobra Claw and a set of Valkyries. From I think it was from one of those giveaways. But anyway, there was a dude just like straight up selling stuff today, and I just missed it by like 8 minutes. He was selling a fort mod for $50. It was complete Fort Mount with the trench viper and everything, $50. I was like, no, please don't. And I was like scrolling down to see if anybody had claimed it. There was a bunch of people that, yeah, for $50. Snow job for 80, but he wasn't. That was already sold. Like it was all, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like you'll find shit sometimes where people are just like, hey, I got to get this shit out of here and I need some money. Have your Venmo ready. So nice, very good. Well, yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out on that for sure. And so, how does your buying of classifieds? Where is that in reference to when you started making Destro is my spirit animal videos?
Oh, so I actually started out doing YouTube 2.5 years ago. I started out and I thought about I did like a channel on like writing. So that was my thing, was I want to do that first. And then I had the inkling to do one G.I. Joe video. I was going to do one G.I. Joe video. And then I started watching all these YouTube people doing like reviews of figures. And so I was like, oh, maybe I should do a review of a figure. So I ended up doing a couple of shorts right away. Actually, kind of funny. The first short I posted, the first thing I ever posted was I shot Destro, Pimp Daddy Destro. I put him in the Scarface, Scarface's bedroom, or like lobby of Scarface's. And I did a thing. It was like a money influencer, like a finance bro. Okay. So I did it and I said 1-800 Pimp Daddy Destro. I was like, it's on my channel. It's the first video on my channel.
I gotta go find it. I gotta find it.
And they within 2 hours of posting this video, YouTube contacted me and said, you are banned from ever posting a video ever again. You are selling a false course, and therefore not only can you not make a video, you cannot make any more videos ever again. And
oh my God!
And I'm like, it's clearly a joke, you idiot. It's
right.
So
right.
What it was is AI does their first round, and if they detect you doing something scammy, they'll immediately shut down your channel, especially if you have no. So anyway, so I almost got banned from YouTube forever within the first day.
Right.
But I contacted them, and then a human being watched it and was like, "Oh, this is clearly a parody." You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was whatever. Right. But then I started doing. I did like 6 reviews of figures, and then I was like, they weren't great. And I don't really like doing reviews of figures that much. So, but it was like something like a lot of people get into the joints, and this guy is part of.
Yes,
they're good at it. Like I like Travis Moody's channel's good, and
for sure,
like Joe Jerk channel. Those guys, they're really good at it. I like what they do, and I can't really do that because I don't think that way. And so I started doing that. But then I made one video. I was like, what if I just I said here's figures we'd want, and I put Hasbro give us the hood, and and at the same time I'm doing my video channel on writing, and it's going pretty well. But within 2 days, I had 20,000 views on this video, and now I'm like, oh fuck. So then the next week I was like, let me rank the Dreadnoks, and I got monetized within 2 months.
No shit.
Right away, within and it was funny because I really started. I wanted to do the other channel, which still exists. It's not that successful.
Right.
And so I was and I just surpassed that channel by a light year doing G.I. Joe stuff. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going with it,
Right. Sure. Sure.
So then it just, you kind of, since then I just kept going with it. So.
Nice. I love that, it is G.I. Joe centric, but I do love that you do all the other videos. I think it almost makes the G.I. Joe ones better in a sense that it's not an overwhelming amount of one thing, right? Too much of anything maybe would just be, but man, because at this point, I think it's safe to say that you got to have the most popular G.I. Joe channel, right? Now, I wouldn't pigeonhole you know, I wouldn't pigeonhole all that you do into one thing, considering how good you are at making videos about all this other shit. But I always try to refer to it like I remember when I told my wife before the first time I came on, I was like, I don't know what I did, but I'm going on the most popular guy's fucking channel tonight. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So it's I've always told you the success is much deserved. Because your videos are very much, you could tell there's such an uptick in the production value, but I think a lot of it has to do with an economy of movement. And by that, I mean, you're able to tell, it's like the opposite. I'm not good at this. I can't tell a story in a short amount of words and feel like I've conveyed it, right? So I can watch, I always refer to this one because it's one of the best examples, like the Predator video. That was 30 minutes long, and I walked away from it. It felt like every 90 seconds I was learning something different. And but at the same time, it was crazy entertaining. So yeah, I think that shit is awesome, and I'm glad that you have the success that you have, because you know it's deserved, and it's almost it makes you do more, and that helps us, because the more you put out, the more we get to watch, and they're all bangers. So I think it's fucking fantastic, and and especially like the 80s toy stuff. Like there's so many toys that like, you know, I haven't even thought about. Like I remember you said something about sectors in one of the videos, and I was like, wait, holy shit, is that those little bug things? And then I went back, I looked, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I had this one. This is fucking crazy. So yeah, that shit is fucking awesome. Now, how long were you making videos before you did the G.I. Joe, the mythology?
So that one I did about last year in March. So about a year ago, yeah, I did that one. So I've been doing it about a year and a half, I think.
Okay, yeah. That's what's up. Nice. Yeah. All right, because that was the first one I saw. I think I was watching a G.I. Joe episode, and it auto played that afterwards. And I heard you talking, and I was like, wait, is this dude talking about G.I. Joe? And yeah, and it was just, I was like, oh man. And again, I was still kind of like hearing things that, because I wasn't into the comic books as much, again, because I didn't have them. But so I'm hearing things that you're talking about. I'm like, man, this is fucking awesome. And it was also the music in that one, like there was just like the low lying sounds underneath. That was like, I think you may have used it in another video too, but it's just, I don't know. I always thought that one was fucking perfect. So, because you know, when you go and you look, and I think I've mentioned this before, coincidentally, the first bit of G.I. Joe content that I saw was You Know Who. And I couldn't believe it.
Yes, my good friend, yeah.
Yes. I remember it vividly. So, like the beginning of the show, and then it just launched straight into the ridiculousness that show is. And I had this thought in my head. I was like, this can't be what it's like. We're talking about toys. What is going on here? And I actually remember at this point I had become friends with my brother Jeremy, and I reached out to him and I was like, what do you watch? Like, what is out there? And he referred me to your channel, A Toy Kind of Mood, and the Full Force.
Full Force. I love the Full Force. Yeah. Toy Kind of Mood is really good. Full Force is really good.
Agreed.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. I get, like, if I'm not hearing it from you, everything that I basically know about what's going on comes from watching Chris in the Full Force, because he's very much, that show is largely, you know, based around all the information when it's coming. And and when I did see that, I remember thinking it was like a palate cleanser from the previous guy, because I was just like, oh, thank God. I thought I can't watch that shit. I have no time for that kind of negativity and absurd ridiculousness in my life. So anyway, thankfully Cool Heads prevailed, and I made it all the way to finding, you know, the ones that are worth watching. You know, because I like, you know, I always enjoy hearing about, like, even where people kind of just talk about
what they think about GI Joe, right? Like hearing other people's like headcanon or the different ways. Because, I mean, we all love the same core thing, but because everybody's different, we're all experiencing it and seeing it through different lenses, and it's like, and that is to piggyback on it being an awesome anyway, but like the fandom in a sense, this little community that we have where nobody's gonna bust your balls for liking different characters or having a different headcanon, because I'm in a couple Facebook groups, man, and a lot of times you can post something and like 10 people will be like, what are you, an idiot? It's just like, well, no.
Yeah.
Bro, these are toys. Like, why does that? I think you need to ask yourself why that's upsetting to you. Why are you getting emotional over something like this? Just absolutely crazy. So what, looking further down the line, do you have anything particular planned for the channel? Or are you just kind of flowing in this direction and taking it as it comes?
Yeah, no, I'm planning big things. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start. I made one video that was called Destro Explored, but I'm changing the name. It's gonna be everything you need to know about, and I'm gonna do like on characters. So it's gonna be similar to the mythology videos, but I'm gonna continue with the mythology videos. I'm gonna try to work my way through everything eventually. Like I'm talking about, like I'm gonna do toys for the mythology videos. Then I'm gonna do, I want to do video games, movies, Pulp Fiction, all kinds of shit eventually. And then my other plan is I'm starting, because I think there's some really good lore channels for Transformers, and there's not that many for GI Joe. There's only a couple. So I'm gonna be focusing on doing, and I'm coming out with a bunch of them probably in the next few weeks. I'm gonna be doing everything you need to know about the Baroness, everything you need to know about Cobra Law, everything you need to know about Snake Eyes. Those are the ones I'm working on. They're gonna be big, like real deep dives. If you saw the Destro one, that one I tried to go real deep and find weird shit about him. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to find weird information about all of them. That's my next big mission here, That's the big place where I see going.
So. Curious where what do you use for your research to find, odd facts like that?
Oh yeah, so there's a wiki for everything.
Okay. Yeah.
So Wikipedia is really good. Reading the comics is good.
Right.
So I'm trying to read all of the comics, watch all of the cartoons, because that's so you can get a broad idea of everything. But yeah, so Transformers the Basics by Christopher McFeely is awesome. That's what I'm going to do, the same thing but for GI Joe. That's gonna be where I'm headed, I think.
Right.
Because he does a great job with Transformers. I'm gonna do exactly what he does, but for GI Joe. So I'm gonna be coming out with huge, info dumps on all the major characters, at least maybe the minor characters someday, but I obviously have at least 50 or 60 major characters to get through before I get to the minors.
For sure. And do you have, say that, I think I'm pretty sure you just kind of said that off the cuff, but do you have a list yet? Do you have okay, these are what I'm considering main characters, or are you just kind of taking it, you'll do this few now? And
I think I think we all know the list,
Right.
So, but what's great about it is when you have when you think about it, you got IDW, the Devil's Due, the Marvel Comics run, the cartoon, GI Joe Renegades, Resolute, Sigma 6, Energon Universe. You've got how many different runs of figures? You've got how many different figures? I'm also in the video, I'm going to use every single version of the figure. That's the one thing. I've been working on the Snake Eyes one for 6 months because it's I want to try to have an image of every single figure of Snake Eyes ever made in that one video. I'm sure I'm going to miss a couple, but that's sort of the goal. But yeah, like I know right now I really want to do the Baroness and Snake Eyes, Cobra Law. I want to do the Dreadnoks. I want to do Firefly. I want to do Storm Shadow. I want to do the Arashikage. I mean, it's endless. It's like 10 years. It'll take me 10 years.
Right. I mean, although I feel like that, but that's all awesome. Like I think the Arashikage itself is just a black hole of cool shit. I think that you could go back. And that was one of the things that when we talked about the movie on your show last week or on Monday, it was like, you would think that these powers that be, even just out of their own like selfish greed, would realize that like, oh, we could make like, look at all this content. You know what I mean? Like we could make so much shit. We could have like a main line of movies. You could have spin-off character like miniseries TV shows, and I mean just like it's you strike a deal with Netflix where they'll do they'll have big movie release. You can have all these little shows. Like I mean, doesn't everybody want to see a show about the Dreadnoks? You know what I mean? Where it's their family. They're in the middle of the swamp. Fucking Xandar and Zorana are running around like crazy people, while Zartan, like works for the most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Oh God, for sure. Well, that's cool. I mean, we will all be waiting and watching anything that you put out. I know everybody, like Paul says right here, Dimser makes great content. I agree. Absolutely. Rock Lockdown says G.I. Joe is an endless pit of content, but I have an idea why they don't capitalize. I mean, I have no idea why they don't capitalize. I mean, I feel like
they're afraid of the military.
Yeah, right.
They're definitely afraid of military for kids. I don't think they're afraid of military for adults. Obviously, the Amazon makes military shows all the time.
Sure.
If they give up on it as a kid thing, I see them going hard on it, and which is where that Energon Universe cartoon is really exciting, because that's not for kids. That's like that's a hard R.
And speaking of which, this because the guy who's directing that did what was it, Invincible? Is that the name of the show?
It's a great show. It's a great show. I watched it. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
My brother Jay Antonio in the chat, the Bearded Sumo, he actually made this shirt. That's his. He's got a bunch of cool shit over on TeePublic. That's the Bearded Sumo. If you want to put your link in the chat there for your TeePublic, this right here, this comes from my brother Stevie Z. He makes all the ones with the blueprints, which are just absolutely fantastic. I have a bunch. I just ordered. He just dropped 4 new ones. He dropped the Polar Battle Bear, the Asp. Oh fuck! I'm not going to remember the other 2. Both very good, and I can't remember them to save my life. Anyway, I ordered 2, and then I couldn't decide on the colors for the other ones, because that's the cool part when you go to TeePublic is you could pick you get the design, but they have like 15 colors of the shirt that you can choose from. So like if I really wanted to get another one that had the hiss on it, but just like a different color, and all you got to do is pay attention to when they go on sale, because it's like every once in a while, not every once in a while, but it seems like rather frequently, they'll just burst out and be like, oh, I don't know what the percentage is. I know that for like this kind of a shirt, which is good quality, I'll pay $16, and then I spend an extra $2.50, and they give me a sticker of it, which I think is fucking cool. So I got a whole envelope full of stickers, and yeah, for sure.
Lockdown says it would be the most diverse military show. Yeah, right. Could balance out. You got like diversity, versus it being, military. But I think that just military is not a good, especially right now. I mean, I think with America going to war with fucking everybody, like last 2 weeks we start wars with everybody. So like that's going to be a real hard sell to get moms to buy kids military shit ever. But it just doesn't really, I think If it's for adults, just then the kids will like. The reality is, you make it for adults, you make an R-rated show, and the kids will
Right.
like it. That's where they are.
Agreed.
I haven't watched much of Destro as my spirit. I do not do figure reviews now. I mean, I've done like 3. That's the thing is I do like reviews of like talk about classified, but I don't do a lot of reviews of figures. It's not my thing. I do everything else. Literally everything else. I do weird shit.
Do you see he puts out
videos?
right.
I talk about stupid shit. I do lore videos.
Dude, you're averaging like 3 videos a week right now. I think that you're doing primo amounts of content. So I'm actually stepping back into the figure review, and I'm going to be doing this. I'm hoping to do it tomorrow. I was going to do it yesterday, and just I got busy with some other stuff, and so I'm actually I did like 3 or 4. I don't remember which ones. But then when the Darklon Blowtorch Frag Viper Footloose wave, I got them all at once. And I remember I was going on vacation. So I was like, all right, I can knock out all 4 of these and just drop one every other day. And I'd be good for the whole time I'm on vacation. And and I did it. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then I think I only did, I did like 1 more. And that was it. I don't know why. I got busy with other shit. And I just was like, everybody seemed to like it too, which was, I had every reason to keep doing it. But I had a point where I was like, man, you know what? I remember being busy with one particular job and then still like wanting to come back to it. And then I just got so far away from it. It was just, something else that I was doing every day. I do a Good Morning post. I take a clip from the Sunbow cartoon. Like I started with the movie. I take like 5-minute clip and then make like a funny summary of it and post that. And that's cool. I think it's a good way to start the day. But the one thing I was doing that I just kind of stopped is I have a fuck ton of those G.I. Joe trading cards. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
They're awesome. They're totally awesome. My brother Ash sent me a box. Some of them were duplicate. It wasn't a complete set, but it had to be 60% of the set, and then doubles of a lot of them. So I've actually been sending them out to people in packages. And but every morning I was taking a picture of the front and a picture in the back and putting it out in putting it in a post and every morning, like as a Joe a day thing. And then like one day, I don't, for whatever reason, I get in the morning time, something happened crazy in the morning, and I didn't wind up doing it. And then I just literally forgot that I was doing it at all. And it was like 2 weeks later that I was like, oh yeah, I was doing that every day. And now I just forgot. But that's, the lads with last year, I was with the softball season running right into the basketball season. There was just like, oh my God, I'm sure everybody can remember when I was like, by the time, so I coached my kids' travel softball team and the recreational team, which the recreational team is just like, if you go to play softball, you just sign up, everybody gets put on a team, and it's just a fun thing. Travel team is where everybody takes shit way too seriously. Anybody in the chat that has ever had to deal with your kids being in a travel sports team, it is fucking crazy. These people are nuts, bro. Everybody thinks their kid is the next Mickey Mantle, and they're not even that good most of the time. And like I had this one lady, I shit you not, she sent me a text message. No, I'm sorry. She actually sent it to my wife because she knew I wouldn't answer it. Sent a text message to my wife at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday and was like, here's all of my daughter's stats from the last 6 games. And when I look at look at her average, how many hits, she's actually doing better than this person, that person on a team. So I want to know why my daughter is batting so far down in the order. And like, these are 10 and 11-year-old kids. If I can't, I'm not sure I could come up with a better example of how nuts. Now, in that lady's defense, she knew that she was like that. and was actually very helpful for the team. Like our very first game, our jerseys, there was like I don't remember what it was. Something happened, and our jerseys were like delayed. They were being mailed in, and we didn't have jerseys. And this lady used a Cricut to print a jersey with everybody's name on the back. Said the name of the town. Anyways, so she was good like that, which was good. It kind of balanced out. So yeah, I'll. But still, 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, bro, and you're up there, you're calculating your daughter's fucking missed softball stats. That's just crazy town. I don't know who could do me like that. So that's fucking nuts. Well, we are right at that 3-hour mark, brother. I don't want to keep you too much longer here. I think we can pretty much wrap it up. Let's see. I feel like I had anything else, right? I had a bunch of shit written down. Anyways, 3 hours is enough. So I think I had Chris from Assist 3 Arsenal was on, and I think we did like 4 hours and 40 minutes. And then I had my brother Dan Salsato was on, and he and I did that same amount. Oh, I can't remember exactly. It was those two guys. We did damn near 5 hours. And, unless I'm doing something special, I'm going to try to cut that back, right? Because if I'm up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning doing this, my Sundays are fucking wrecked. Like right now, 11 o'clock, not too bad. I can go to bed and get up nice and early. But actually, no, tomorrow it's the end of year basketball banquet. So I've got to get up. I've got to write like a little something about each player. So I get up to the podium. I'll say, "Oh, I'm so proud of everybody. The season went well. I'm looking forward to next year." But then individually, I announce the players' names, and they come up to get like a little trophy or a plaquette or whatever they're giving them. And I just want to be able to. I want to write something out because they all individually grew in a lot of different ways. There was a lot of the girls on the team. This was either their very first year of playing organized sports, or maybe they played one season of softball the year before. So they really didn't have a lot of experience. And basketball is fast-paced, crazy, running around, jumping. And a lot of them I went from I can watch them. I remember first practice, they were scared of the ball. And I was like, wow, if you're under the hoop like this, that's not good. You gotta get your hands up there and whatever. But no, I watched a lot of them kids, come right out of their shell. And at the end of the year, everybody was running up and down the court, ripping the ball out of the other team's hand. It worked out well. I learned a lot. There's a lot of stuff I won't do next year. I felt like I'm going to push the kids a lot better because a lot of it we were just having fun. But next year it'll be everybody's going to be a year older, and they got to start. It's kind of like you got to dial in a little bit because after next year, then it's serious. Then you're in high school and you're not even going to make the team unless you're like out there 100% doing it. Yeah, so. Yeah. I owe them that service to give them, even if it's like, the first half of every practice, guess what? We're going to be running fucking asses off, especially when we first come back, get everybody in shape. So, yeah, I have to do that. I think it's 11 o'clock. Yeah, I got to be there at 10:45 because I got to help carry in a bunch of, I don't know how many teams there are in this whole league, but I think it goes from like 5 and 6 year olds to all the way up to the high school, the CYO teams right before high school. And I don't know how many teams for each age group, but it sounded like when I heard the guy right, like 500 people coming. I was like, wait a minute, in one room? And like, holy shit, that's like a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that everybody's, we have that many people that want to play, but Jesus, holy shit. Cal says, I have an unopened wax box. Oh, of the G.I. Joe cards, brother? That will not surprise me. You still have the cards in the box. But that's awesome, though. I looked online because, like I said, I kind of wanted to complete that G.I. Joe trading card set. I did look online, and it looks like I could buy a set, complete in, like, mint condition for, like, $100. But, I think I'm good enough with what I have. If there's something I decide I really want, I'll check, Nice. Bearded Simo says, Yes, Cal, hit and run is a solid figure. Well, I can't wait to open that because it looks amazing. And hit and run was actually one of my favorites. When that dude came out, again, it's that card art. He had the camo on. He was just hanging, and he had that unique
unique rifle because I had that 9mm clip in it, and you could see it look different. So it was just like, wow, this dude's like got a special weapon. He's got this freaking grappling hook, all that shit. So I think that's awesome. Rock Lockdown says, bro, those cards are amazing. They are. They really are. I still got a ton of those trading cards here that in the house somewhere. Very cool. Very cool. Chaotic 3158. That's fucking fantastic. So everybody knows where your channel is, brother. And you did just pretty much. Is there anything that's coming up in the next couple of days that you're putting out we can look out for?
Oh yeah, I'm doing the second half of the unproduced. I did the unproduced figures. Now I'm doing unproduced vehicles. And then I did a video on the worst face sculpts. That's kind of a
nice.
Little one.
No, that sounds good. I'm interested. Can't wait to see it. And then, of course, it's damn near every Monday, right? I think you've done a live every Monday for a while, right? I
miss it every once in a while. I miss one, but
for sure,
we'll Monday. Yeah, if you're up for it, 1985 is the subject.
Awesome. You count me in for sure. That's great.
Action figures, 1985.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
The greatest year of
I don't argue at all. I think I'd have to I'm gonna sit down and think about it before, because off the top of my head, I always kind of remembered 86. Just, I think, Beachhead and just even the figures like sci-fi that I didn't really want. I thought it was just crazy that they were there, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think Low Light was that year, and Beachhead and Low Light are like two of my top fives, man. Those are fucking amazing figures. So, yeah. But no, oh, absolutely. But if I can't even remotely argue with anybody that says that 85 is the year for sure. That is an amazing year. I mean, 84, 85, 86 is the biggest bulk of fucking awesome shit, like of all time. Oh my God! Oh well, when we did 84 last week, it's amazing because you don't remember it in the same way that when you look at it, when you're scrolling online, you're like, oh my God, all these came out this year? Like, holy shit. Yeah. I mean, dude, that list was enormous. And we even grouped those play sets together, right? We did like 8 in one, and it was still this huge amount. But iconic shit too. So awesome. I love it. Definitely count me in. And everybody knows where to find Mark. That is Destro is my spirit animal here on YouTube. You can also find him on Instagram, Facebook, and he is on Twitter, but it is Mark Fogarty over there, right? Yeah. That's why I didn't find you for the longest time. I remember when I was looking, so I'm so thankful you I would have never found it. All I didn't know to search for was, Destro's my spirit animal. And at that time, that was the only social media that I was on, because I was basically off social media altogether completely after I stopped doing tool review. And then I was only using Twitter for my fantasy football updates. And then, right. And then when I got into G.I. Joe, I just said something out loud. The algorithm picked up on my phone, was listening, and it started showing me G.I. Joe stuff. And that's how I wound up meeting everybody. And then that was even happened on a whole other account that I popped the Destro designs up, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this now. So nice. So, well, thank you very much, brother, for always having me on. I really greatly appreciate it. I consider you a friend, and I'm glad that we got to know each other for sure, because it really is a lot of fun. We come over there, and everybody seems to think it works out well and is good. I know the whole crew comes over on Mondays to watch, so that's awesome. For sure. And everybody knows where to find me. I am Destro Designs on everything: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find me in a couple places at Viper Den Studios, which is generally, I save that account just so I can put pictures of my finished work. I wish, pictures and videos. I wish I was staying more on top of it, in a sense. Like, if you went to the Twitter one right now, there's a bunch. There's like 4 or 5 shoots that I'm behind on that. But when you see me on Twitter, I'm reposting and doing so many other posts that if you had to scroll down and look for it, you would never find any of it. You know what I mean? So that's how that all came across. And just one day I was like, oh man, I should definitely start another account. And as soon as I had that thought, I was like,
Viperden Studios. That's what I want to call it. And that's literally just how it came up. So pretty happy about that. So thank you to everybody who supports all of my endeavors, for sure. Especially don't forget to find me at Serpentor's Lair. Every Tuesday and Friday is when the bangers drop. It's out like first thing in the morning. I'm usually so busy I forget to like go over and share it. But everybody over on Twitter is nice enough that a lot of them, I know my brother Mark Fogarty, or not Mark Fogarty, Marky Potter, he goes over and he usually shares it on Twitter. So like when I get up, I get to see, oh, there it is. I don't even have to go look. It's right there, which is nice. But yeah, thank you for everybody who supports. I really appreciate it. And we don't have the community without you guys. So everybody that shows up every day, being positive, encouraging, and putting yourself out there by sharing your own videos and stuff, that's what makes it tick for sure. So I appreciate you all. And of course, for supporting the makers I love to take pictures for, Mo's Mind Custom Design. You can find him on Etsy. You make sure you use Destro Designs 10 to get your 10% off of the purchases there. He's also on social media, Instagram and Twitter. It's at Mo's Mind CD. That's where you can find him. And of course, Chris from Sys 3D Arsenal. You can get his stuff on Etsy as well. Like if you have the Etsy Premium and you get the free shipping, maybe you want to order it from there so you get the free shipping. But you can go to sys3darsenal.com and use Destro Designs to get 10% off on those products there. They both create must-have stuff. So at the very least, make sure you go check it out. They both have stuff that you can find a price point for. So don't miss out on any of that good stuff. And so thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for sticking around. We really appreciate it. And you guys can find us over on Mark's channel Monday, talking about 1985. Hell yeah.
All right, man. See you.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.